High School. ICRC-TV Sports is pleased to present high school football. Tonight it's the 43rd Southwestern Ohio Football Coaches Association Ron Woyan S.W.O.F.C.A game. Hello everyone, I'm Glenn Olson, joined in the booth by David Olson, Patrick Geshen is roaming the sidelines for us tonight, Dean Lowry and Josh Sinstrom, the shots in the truck. All of this exciting high school football action. David, for many of these players tonight is the last time they've ever put on a uniform to play competitive football.
Yeah, Glenn, you know it's for the love of the game. It's for some of these kids who aren't getting those big D1 offers, because those kids are usually enrolled already and started summer classes and conditioning. And even some kids are trying to get a look to like a Thomas More or a Mount St. Joe. So we'll see what the East and the West bring tonight, and hopefully it's something interesting.
Should be interesting indeed. We've seen offensive fireworks in this.
Tonight's officials will be John Brown, Eric Berg,
for insight into the East squad's dominance in this game.
Hey guys, good to see you again. Kind of weird to be doing this in June, but I'm not really complaining. Well, the East has been the big story here so far in this game's history the past few years. They've won 4 straight and 11 of the past 12. This game has been played at Kings High School since 2009, and the East team is 8-1 in that time since 2009 when the game has been played here. Now, the East team last year winning 23-7, the only West win happening in 2014, in that game where a lot of points were scored. So the West looking for some revenge tonight. The East team looking to continue their dominance.
For that, David, an interesting group of young players on this roster tonight. As we talked about, many of these guys taking the field for the last time, but we'll definitely be looking forward to some exciting high school football action tonight. We'll be back with the kickoff right after this.
And it's a fair ball, and it's to the fence. Oh,
and a goal.
Washington in front of him, he's inside the 10.
Oh, blocked from behind.
Cut off the blast, no problem at all.
The tip, one for the cradle.
Got locked up. One guy that's got an angle on it, and he cuts back on it. Tip ball! And Cravat couldn't corral the
He's
ball.
fly to right field against the wind. It's out of here.
Buries it, we're tied at 19.
Welcome back to ICRC-TV Sports presentation of high school football, the East-West All-Star Game here at Kings High School in Kings Mills, Ohio. See the captains for both teams are meeting with the officials out at the middle of the field at the 50-yard line for the coin toss to figure out who's going to get things started in this game tonight. David, you and I had a chance to catch up before the game and talk. Blake King from Milford is one of the quarterbacks on this East roster, and one of his teammates from a few years ago, Drew Ashcraft, holds all kinds of passing records in this game.
Yeah, Glenn, back in 2015, Ashcraft has the most yards in passing with 366. Also, most passes attempted with 31, and tied for passes completed in 18. And if you go down to most TD passes thrown, he threw 5 in that 2015 All-Star game. So we're seeing if Blake King can continue that Milford quarterback legacy here at Kings High School tonight.
Blake King, of course, one of the key cogs in the resurgence of Milford Eagles football in the last year. And Milford, of course, one of our ICRC communities. Blake will be heading to Wittenberg in the fall to continue his academic and athletic career. You saw there on your monitor that the East team did win the coin toss and deferred until the second half. So East will be kicking off to the West squad to get things underway here. This is a tough game for a variety of reasons for many of these players. Some of your major D1 commits are already on campus, getting ready to participate in their freshman season of football. You have vacations and jobs and just a wide variety of things that get in the way. And these teams do practice about 6 times leading up to tonight's game. So, for many of these guys dealing with graduation, of course, since these are seniors, you have graduation parties, final exams, all those sorts of things. It gets tough to pull off attending practice and making this game. But these kids that are here tonight are going to put on one heck of a show for you, I'm sure.
And Glenn, even the East squad brought a couple of cheerleaders and messing up with all their schedules as well. So we'll see. It's nice to see them to support the team as the East team takes the field, and we'll get ready for some football here in June.
It takes an army to pull this game off, but the Woyan family, especially the namesake Ron Woyan, his son Timmy Woyan, do a ton to help get things happening here on the field with ordering jerseys and coordinating practices and publicity and security and arranging the national anthem. So just a whole lot of work that goes into bringing this game to you. And our crew has been here baking in 90-degree temperatures today, setting up cameras and running cables to help bring you all of this action tonight. Number 60, Connor Pohl from Cincinnati Country Day, who is a linebacker by trade, will kick things off for us. We're just about set for that kickoff. Pohl kicks it away. It's going to be deep, fielded inside the 20-yard line. Nice return up the middle to the 35. It's number 32 for the West. Nikijah Wright, the running back from Laughlin, who gets the West set up with a great field position to start their first offensive series of the game.
That was Jake Shirey, the defensive back end wide receiver out of Little Miami, number 20, making the tackle for the East squad as both teams take the field, and we'll get our first set of downs.
Not far from home, just up the road at Little Miami in Morrow, Ohio, here in Warren County. Nice for some of these guys to play close to home. We have a couple Kings players on the East roster tonight.
Yeah, nothing like playing at home, Glenn.
So the first offensive set is underway. That's Alex Schaefer, the quarterback from Clark Montessori. He's going to hand the ball off. It'll be advanced up to just crossing the 40-yard line to the 41 for a 6-yard gain.
I think the whole East team on the field there was there to make that tackle as all 11 helmets were at the ball. So you gotta like seeing that as a coach, Glenn. All 11 hats at the ball here early in the game.
The West has struggled to put together consistent offense in recent history in this game. See if any of that has changed. It's a handoff that's going to be for no gain. Toting the rock was Ryan Brewster of Clark, so you got the Clark to Clark connection there.
That was Zachary Bell from Lebanon on the tackle there for the East.
West not wasting any time, getting right back up to the line on a 3rd and 4. Going to be a quick pass out to the right. It's going to be about a half a yard shy, if that, for the first down. A nice completion out in space to Juaries Montgomery from Mount Healthy, another one of our ICRC communities, the Fighting Owls, represented here tonight.
Q Taylor from Purcell Marion finishing off that tackle there.
Handoff up the middle will be good for a first down. The clock will stop as the chains will move.
You know, Glenn, we talked about this in the pregame, but I love seeing all the decals on the different helmets. Just shows a sign of unity for your side of the city. You know, that's a big thing in Cincinnati, where if you're from the east side or the west side. So just it's more of a pride thing more than anything.
It was Brewster who carried the ball. He throws a nice block there. We see one of our first pass attempts for the evening. That's going to be pass interference called on Alex Daly from Moeller, the defensive back. He was all over the intended receiver for the West squad.
Good ball, Sean.
Tyrese Shaw from Northwest.
Jack, what the? 21. Pass interference. Defense number 21. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Officials for tonight's game: John Brown, Eric Berg, Sean Troinka, Jack Oney, and Bruce Thompson. Going with the long pants and not the shorts tonight.
Bold move, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off.
See if they can, now they're liking that here at the end of this first quarter. 10:27 in the opening quarter. 1st and 10 after the penalty. West marching pretty easily into East territory at this point. It's going to be a long pass over to the right side. One-on-one coverage, a push off by the intended receiver, but he can't catch up to the football. Pass was intended for Shane McNally of the LaSalle Lancers.
Schaefer took a hit from Vanover there at the end of this play, as we're going to see on the replay. Vanover just comes in untouched and just lays out Schaefer, but pass incomplete, 2nd and 10.
This offensive linemen haven't blocked in a while.
Yeah,
back to October.
Not been in the weight room.
Shaking off the rust. 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Going to go right back to the same play and right back to one-on-one coverage and in and out of the hands, which what probably would have gone on to the house for a touchdown for Timothy Williams of Aiken. He's also a quarterback, but getting some time out on that end to utilize his athletic ability. Just lets that one slip through his hands. So, boy, look at that. It's right there. Good defense at the end to kind of distract him. All of a sudden, the West was rolling, and after a couple of passing completions, they're in a hole, 3rd and 10.
Schaefer took another lick there from Luis Hernandez, the offensive lineman by trade there at the end of that play. So we've got 3rd and 10. We'll see if they go to the air again.
See what the West offense can do. They're going to go back to the right side. That one's going to be complete to Shane McNally from LaSalle, who will advance the football into the red zone. It'll be 1st and 10 for the West from about the 15-yard line.
That was a pretty play, Glenn. This McNally just coming across on a crossing route and pick up the first down on a 3rd and long for the West.
It's going to be interesting. We've seen Schaefer go right just about every time, but the one pass interference call we had down there on the left side. See if the East defense is able to catch on to that. It's going to be a handoff up the middle to his teammate from Clark, Ryan Brewster. And that'll be no gain, maybe a loss of half a yard. Nope, it's going to be more than that. Oh, no, or loss of a yard, we'll call it.
That was David Tosh, the defensive lineman from Little Miami, with the initial contact for the East there.
2nd and 11. We're under 10 minutes now in the opening quarter. East with a little bit of problems down on the sideline, trying to make sure they had the right personnel on the field. Pass was intended for number 3, Shane McNally of LaSalle. Falls incomplete. 3rd and 11. Clock stops at 9:32. See what the West sideline is going to call in, an all-star coaching staff, and there's a timeout taken on the field. See if it's a team timeout or an official's timeout.
There's a flag.
There's a penalty flag, yeah, back near the end zone, David. Good eye. Didn't
And on the field.
Seem to be on the East, be a 5-yard penalty. But we still got 3rd and about 6 or 7 for the West All-Stars.
Callie Jones, the head coach for the West squad. This was an illegal substitution penalty. Pass is complete, but immediately wrapped up right around the 6-yard line.
Kyle Fair from Sycamore on the hit there.
Keith Fisher with the completion. Another Clark player. Clark well represented this roster tonight, but back to the coaches for the West. Callie Jones, we mentioned, is the head coach. He's the head coach of the Woodward Bulldogs. His offensive coordinator, I'm going to assume, is Ross Baker, who's the offensive coordinator at Middletown High School.
McNally's pass just low on 4th and short, and the East will take over deep in West territory.
Well, if you're a fan of this game, you know that's been kind of the trend. The West has struggled to come out early and put together a couple of good plays and then not able to finish it off. Let's go back and look at a replay here. Clean pocket for the quarterback, able to get the throw off, but threw into traffic. So the East will take over deep in their own territory. It's going to be 1st and 10 from their own 6-yard line, according to the scoreboard. The volunteer chain gang of students on the far side of the field has it marked closer to the 7 or 8. But officially 1st and 10 from the 6 with 8:59 to go.
Blake King, starting quarterback for Milford, as he completes it to number 4, Raphael Floyd out of Princeton.
If you follow ICRC-TV football, we covered the Vikings a lot this year, and you know Raphael Floyd is an explosive player. Sure, he's been a favorite target of Blake King in these practices and will be a favorite target in this game tonight. Gain of 7, 2nd and 3. King's going to hand the ball off, and that one's not going to go a whole lot of anywhere, maybe a gain of a yard. Ball carrier is number 8, Nate Webster of Loveland. Another one not playing too far from home, just down the road in Loveland.
Man, you don't see that often, Glenn, an Eagle to a Tiger connection. So they had to work out a couple kinks in practice.
King under a little bit of pressure, rolls to his right. He's going to keep it. He's a dual threat. 1st down and more, and he'll step out of bounds at the 35-yard line. So smart move by King. We saw him do that a lot in the fall. He recognizes the pressure, rolls to his right and uses his feet to pick up a first down. He's pretty fleet of foot, as you can see here on your screen.
You know, Glenn, I think King's just trying to get comfortable on this field. Milford hadn't done well at King Stadium in the past, so I think he's playing well right now.
Fresh set of downs. King's going to go to the air. That should be pass interference. That pass was intended for Raphael Floyd. I don't see any laundry on the field, but boy, did Hezekiah Walker from Western Hills get away with one there, because he had a handful of jerseys, I'm sure you saw on your screen.
You know, it's like it's kind of like what happened in game 2 the other night, Glenn. The referee said he was covered, but he wasn't actually covered, so we'll see if we can get the hold here on the replay.
Well, he'd already released the jersey at that point, but he definitely had a handful of them leading up to that. I guess the referee thought maybe that King had overthrown that ball. 2nd and 10 from the 34-yard line, under 8 minutes now. King elects to keep it, rolls out to his left. He better tuck that football. Noticed that on the last time he was holding it out to the right on the big scamper to the 35 down here, and that time he didn't have it tucked up against his body. He was holding it low. I don't know that I would trust these West guys to play honest and not try to swap that one away.
I mean, you know, like you mentioned, King's going to be a dual threat, and we're going to see a lot of that tonight. And I think with him being a quarterback, he doesn't tuck it a lot, as we saw in the fall. So we'll see if he will tuck it as he continues to play here in the first quarter with 7:22 left and 3rd and 1 for the East.
Jeff Essig, the head coach of Bethel Tate, is the head coach of the East squad tonight. King under a little bit of pressure, tries to throw it away at the last moment. No flags on the field, so he will get it off before he's sacked, but it's going to set up 4th and 1 at the 44-yard line.
There's Keegan Rogers from Baden on the pressure there for the West, as you're going to see on the replay. The pocket just collapses on Kings.
And he had nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. It's okay, like you said, the offensive line a little rusty, not been hitting the weight room, but 4th and 2 here for the East, and they're going to go for it.
It's an all-star game. I don't know why you wouldn't.
It's like Madden. Why do you punt?
Wouldn't be surprised to see a dose of Nate Webster here. King on the keeper, keeps it himself. He's battling to get back to the line of scrimmage, and from the officials mark on the far side of the field, that's a first down.
That was great job by King to keep his legs going, and got a push from behind there to convert the chains as the East continue to drive.
1st and 10 from the East own 45-yard line. We're under 7 minutes now. Take a look at the replay of King picking up the first down on the keeper.
Seemed like the read option kind of messed up, but just gets a last-minute push there from number 71, Andrew Arnold out of Goshen, and gets the first down for the East.
When you saw Webster go down, so that was a smart move by King. He goes to the air on the left side.
There it is.
And there's going to be a pass interference flag come in from the official on the far side of the field.
Number 14, Austin Watt.
Pass was intended for number 14,
Pass
Austin Watt.
On the defense, 15 yards.
Austin Watt from Anderson High School.
That'll be a 15-yard penalty from the 45.
Milford was able to grab a share of the ECC title this year, back in October.
First one since the 80s. That was a big win for them, and big momentum builder as a kind of rebuilding stage at the Milford football program. You know, numbers were low, and Tom Grippa, the new head coach over there, has done a great job of bringing in and creating some excitement for Friday nights at Milford High School.
That's for sure. King looks to pass, but then decides to keep it, but he runs into an army of blue jerseys right around the 44-yard line.
That's Chase Luckett from Baden there on the initial contact for the West All-Stars. Now, King can't rely on his legs, Glenn. I think, you know, the offensive line needs to do a little bit of a better job to protect him so that so he can show off his arm and show off that air attack, because I know the East wants to do that.
Well, I think if King wants to run, it's going to have to be designed runs, or he's going to have to take a little bit of a deeper drop. Because, as you said, the offensive line just has not been giving him a lot of time to make that run decision before the pocket's collapsing around him. He almost bobbles that one. And again, right on cue, the West defensive line bull rushes over the East offensive line, and that's another loss. Let's send it down to Patrick. We'll get to Patrick in just a moment. Sorry about the miscue there.
Luckett from Baden, again there on the West.
So a familiar theme here for East after seeing the West start off promising and stall. The East has done the same. It's 3rd and 18, under 5:30 now. First quarter, the ball just over Midfield into West territory. King's looking deep. He's got a receiver. Receiver had to catch back to try to catch up with it. That's Dylan Fry of Lakota East. And just a little bit of contact down there. It breaks it up. Now let's send it down to Patrick on the side. Patrick.
Hey guys, with Kyle Fair from Sycamore. So Kyle, UC business, why?
Because, well, my dad, he works for UC and I get free college. So, the free college and yeah, enjoy school. I wanted to go to a big school.
No brainer there. Talk to me about what it's like to play in your last high school game.
Oh, it's pretty crazy. I thought that my last high school game was in the playoffs, and now we get to play again, and it's great. Yeah.
Tell me about your favorite part about playing at Sycamore.
Just my friends. Like I got to grow up playing with all of them, just since I was like in first grade, and still together, still senior year, and it was great. We had a great bond. And
awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kyle. Appreciate it, and congratulations, guys.
Can't blame him on the free tuition as a father of twins. Back to action on the field. Blake King and all kinds of trouble there. Ends up getting pushed all the way back about 15 yards inside the 40-yard line, as you're going to see in the replay here on your screen, inside the East own 40-yard line. So it's going to be a turnover on downs. West will come back out and take over. Here you see King trying to get rid of the ball. Realizes the pressure is coming too late, and eventually he's called down, whistle blown down.
Here, grab this other end for me real quick and put it over my head.
There's not much to do about that, Glenn. You know, like we said, offensive line struggling. You know, they're tight. You know, it's hot. They got to stay hydrated. So I bet as the night progresses, the offensive line will be a little bit better.
So West back on offense now. Courtney Woodward of North College Hill in the shotgun takes the snap.
It's a big game for the West All-Stars.
Sure is. Made the East pay for that turnover and giving them a short field as that ball is advanced down to the 27-yard line. Fresh set of down for the West squad. Under 5 minutes to go now. 1st and 10 from the 26. It's going to be a keeper. Turns the corner on the left side and forced out of bounds. It's a nice play there. Timothy Williams from Aiken.
Timothy Williams goes out of bounds.
So West with a head of steam now.
Watch Deshaun Williams with a block here. So we just missed it, but Deshaun Williams had Deshaun Lawrence, pardon me, from Taft High School laid a perfect block as the West get another first down.
West into the red zone, 1st and 10 from the East 12-yard line. Williams still at quarterback. He's going to roll out to his right. He's under pressure, and with a handful of jersey bringing him down is David Tosh of Little Miami. It's not a whole lot of room for Williams to go that time. The offensive protection just didn't hold up. There you see Tosh breaks through quick, grabs hold of that jersey, and gets Williams off balance. Loss of 4 on the play, 2nd and 14. Ball spotted at the 16-yard line. Williams back to pass, all kinds of time. Crossing route across the middle is going to fall incomplete. He was trying to get it to Keani Jones from Aiken. Deshaun Lawrence of Taft. Got him back in announcing mode. I have to enunciate.
Yeah. And that was Daly from Moeller there on the coverage and shows his hands to the refs, trying not to get another pass interference call as they've got 3rd and long.
Clock stops at 4:12. 3rd and 14 still at the 16-yard line. 2 receivers to the top, 2 to the bottom, 1 man in the backfield with Williams. Williams is going to call a pass play again, looking across the middle. Intended for Tyrese Shaw of Northwest, or Tyrese Shaw, of Northwest. A little too far out in front of him. So now decision time for the West. 4th and 14 from the 16. Get to see a little special teams action.
Sergio Listo from Wyoming High School out to attempt the 3-point try for the West All-Stars.
Don't have the exact records, but West getting on the board first. Definitely be some big momentum. That one's deflected at the line of scrimmage, but somehow manages to make its way across the crossbar. So Listo is good from the 16. West moves out in front. I don't know how that got across that crossbar.
That's why he's in the All-Star game. That's why he's the only kicker here.
I didn't think that one had a prayer of getting it across. I didn't think it was going to have a prayer from 5 yards.
I think the East did a great job getting pressure there. Just Listo, being the only kicker listed as an All-Star, showing us why he was selected.
Thanks to the Kings Knights football team for hosting us here tonight, providing us with a live stats feed. Alex Schaefer leads the West in passing with 26 yards. He's 3 of 7 for the East. It's Blake King, 1 of 4 for just 2 yards. King, the leading rusher for the East squad, however, with 19 yards. On the West side, Courtney Woodward with 12, Timothy Williams with 11. So Listo will kick it away to the East to try to find some momentum here. Raphael Floyd is the up man for the Vikings, for the East. I'm on vacation mode too.
Marcus Borden from Walnut Hills is deep.
Thank you.
For the East All-Stars.
Couldn't get a good look at his jersey.
Ladies and gentlemen, could I have your attention, please? I need Ryan Wilhelm down at the 10th, pronto. Quick.
So Listo about to kick it away from the 40-yard line. They're going to kick it over to the left side, and that one will sail through the end zone for a touchback. Lots of changes in the offing in the National Football League this year with the change in the kickoff rules, and we're expecting some of those same changes to trickle down through the college and NFHS ranks eventually.
Yeah, the football. It's been a whole safety thing, and they've been trying to protect that as we're going to send it down to Pat.
He's not there yet.
Not yet. Okay, but so Seth Becker, quarterback from Bethel Tate, is in for the East squad now, and King will get to rest his arm and his legs for a little bit, and we'll see if the East can capitalize.
Send it down to Patrick.
So Tommy Bauman from King. So Tommy, first question for you. What's it like to play this game at home?
It's another great experience playing on my home field. Get to relive a couple memories.
You want to go into nursing. Why?
I like working with people, talking to people, and helping out people.
What's it like to play in your last high school football game tonight?
It's exciting, but like I said, I get to relive all the memories again on this field.
All right, thank you so much, Tommy.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thanks, Patrick. Pick up 3 yards on the run by Ace Taylor, Purcell Marion. Handoff up the middle. It's going to be good for a gain of about 4 or 5 yards.
Tyrese Sherman, the running back from Princeton, on the carry there for the East All-Stars.
I thought it was a Viking helmet, but I was scared to say it because with all those trading decals that you talked about a little while ago. So it'll be shy of the first down, 3rd and 3 from the 27-yard line of East. Becker looking to pass. Wow, great completion into traffic at the 35-yard line. Going way upstairs to haul that football in. Tyrese Sherman of Princeton. That's why he's in the All-Star game.
It's a big play.
You'll see here, he was in traffic, and he really had to go upstairs to get this football.
Becker even under some pressure and just lobs it up, and Sherman double covered, gets it first down East.
Get it to your playmakers and let them work. Becker looking to pass again. He's got a receiver in the middle. Was trying to get it to Austin Watt from Anderson High School, but overthrew him. The ball was nearly intercepted by the West.
Glenn, it's hard to overthrow someone that's 6'5". We watched Anderson play Milford for that ECC title game, and Watt was a big part of that for Anderson, keeping them close just because he was going up and over defenders. So Becker's got to adjust to his height and not overthrow him as much, obviously.
They'll find the old touch back in the arm after a long offseason. 2nd and 10, clock stopped after the incompletion, 2:47 remaining. The ball on the East 35-yard line. Becker again looks to pass, has a nice hole in the middle. Pass is complete to Malkay Brown from Withrow. And a big lick laid on there at the end. There's equipment laying everywhere and a tussle for the football underneath. Our sideline reporter, Patrick, thinks West's come up with the football, and it does look like we're going to have a change of possession.
That was Tyree King, number 13, out of St. Bernard, on the recovery there for the West All-Stars as the West faithful show a little bit of life.
Another one of our ICRC-TV schools making their presence known. There you see the pass is complete. And yeah, just a bobble there, and a couple of big licks didn't help.
Looks like number 60, Tim Roberts, out of Talawanda, got his helmet on the ball for the West All-Stars, getting that turnover as the West takes over on the East 45.
So West on their second possession, again, gifted with great field position. That's a handoff. That one's going to the house. See you bye. Handoff to Courtney Woodward from North College Hill. And just like that, West makes the East pay for the mistake as Courtney Woodward scampers 45 yards into the end zone.
That was a big hole, Glenn. I talked about the offensive line was going to knock that rest off eventually, and we saw it there. Wow. To the house.
Just like that. Didn't take much.
Just gets one block and see you later.
Patrick McGarrion from CCD was in the backfield, tried to get a hand on a jersey, but that wasn't going to be enough to bring down Courtney Woodward, who got a pretty quick head of steam. Blistow in for the point after, and it will be blocked and recovered and eventually blown dead. With 2:30 remaining, it's the West with a commanding 9-0 lead at this point in the football game, David.
Logan
East has some work to do.
They do. Logan Bloom there had the recovery for the East out of Waynesville High School, and with it being an all-star game, no need to risk injury, so just blow it dead. East will get the ball back, but they got to convert here, Glenn. They need playmakers need to play. Offensive line's got to step up, and hopefully the East can make it close. But
the focus is just like
we're seeing something different now. The West taking an early lead and putting up points.
Yeah, as we've talked about, the West has historically struggled in this game offensively.
Yeah, but
obviously they've struggled on defense as well, trying to give up. Lost my train of thought that quick. Giving up points.
But as we saw in 2014, they put up 63. So when they can score, they're going to score a lot, Glenn. So I feel like we're in for a high point night if the East shows up. But we're definitely going to see a lot of points from the West side as Listo gets ready to kick off for the West.
Be careful you don't curse them. I said that last year when we had a defensive struggle. That one is going to sail over the head of Marcus Borden from Walnut Hills, who was the deep back into the end zone for another touchback. So the East will start once again with good field position, but are they going to be able to capitalize on it is the important question at this point. We'll see what they're going to elect to do at quarterback on this third series of the night.
Looks like number 17, Luke Wiederhold, from Fayetteville.
Fayetteville, yeah.
Man, they're going way east getting these guys, Glenn.
Fayetteville Perry. Pete's in the SBAAC. 5-5 on the year last year in a tough national division dominated by Bethel Tate. It's 10-1 and 5-0 overall. Pass is incomplete. It was intended for Raphael Floyd of Princeton, one of our ICRC schools. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 20. 2:25 remaining in the opening quarter.
It was a pretty throw, Glenn. If Floyd would have got a hold of that, I don't think anyone would have been able to stop him, and that might have been 6 for the East. So we'll see what Wiederhold does now.
Wiederhold steps up away from the pressure. The ball is partially deflected. He was trying to get it to Raphael Floyd. I'm pretty proud of his defensive effort down there is Timothy Williams from Aiken.
Like I mentioned earlier in the game, Glenn, you can't get in trouble in this game, Glenn, because not like these guys are already graduated. Can't have principals yelling at you now, so you can talk a little bit more in these games, Glenn.
2:20 remaining, 2nd and 10. Wiederhold all kinds of time, easy completion out to the left side, but the defense is right there to limit the gain after the completion. There's Tommy Bauman from Kings. So 4th and 5 from the 25-yard line. Clock rolling under 2 minutes, approaching 1:55. Going to have a punt situation here. So it looks like Owen Holtke from Bethel may be back to take the punt.
No,
Or are we going for it?
It looks like they're going
maybe a pooch punt.
trips wide.
Well, no, Holtke was in the
wide open.
Was in the backfield as a blocker.
Catch number 10, Tommy Bauman over the middle, snuck for a first down for East.
Bauman hauls it in, so gutsy call by the East to go for it on 4th and 5, sort of deep in their own territory, but they'll get a fresh set of downs out of it for their effort. Reeder Holt doing a nice job spreading the ball around here in his first series of the night. East going with an up-tempo offense, a little bit of a sidearm throw there is going to be intercepted inside the 45-yard line. It's number 42, Mike Browning of Harrison. Again, one of
ball is intercepted by number 42,
presence known tonight.
Mike Browning.
So the East, a little bit discombobulated here in the first quarter.
Yeah, Glenn, I think you were right. Wiederhold kind of a sidearm throw and just throws it into coverage and comes up with it for the West.
So another offensive possession, and again, good field position for the West All-Stars. 1:19 remaining in the opening quarter here from Kings High School. Glenn Olson and David Olson in the booth. Patrick Getchen on the sideline for us tonight, the pride of Talawanda.
Javante Barr from North College Hill in the backfield.
Fumble!
Looks like that's a Kings boy coming up with that fumble.
East, well, there's a tussle for control, but I'm pretty sure East is solidly going to come up with that football.
That's Garrett Vanover out of Kings High School getting one last play on his home field.
Fumble recovered by number 79, Garrett Vanover.
Be tussling with him on the ground down there. He's a big boy.
He
kicking, trying to get some traction and everything. Nice job.
Holding on to that ball for dear life, Glenn. Yeah, he's a lineman. He doesn't get to touch the ball a lot. So anytime he does, better hold on for dear life.
Anytime an offensive lineman gets his name called, it's normally for a false start. If you're a fan of the Bengals, you know that. So nice to see offensive line playing a key role here in the game for more than just blocking.
Timeout
or
by the West.
Defensive line in this case, I should say.
Sorry.
Timeout taken on the field by
the West. And Blake King was in the backfield for the East, so we're through one rotation of East quarterbacks as they get to catch their breath, get some water on a hot, sticky night here in Cincinnati. Kings
timeout on the field. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget
Obviously,
to purchase
you and I have familiarity with Milford.
And a game program. All the proceeds tonight will help
early
to provide
and then come back
scholarships to our students and
have
our
a great
athletes.
night in the rest of the game, and certainly what the East squad and fans are hoping for here tonight.
Yeah, Glenn, it's a confidence thing, and he's got to just come to the
Southwest Ohio Football Coaches
I think
Association
the
would like to
staff
thank
did
the following
a great
people
job of
and
that this year.
organizations without whose help
Like
this game
if
would
there
not
was
have been
one bad
possible.
play, they'd
Carl
tell
Ayers
Blake
of
he's
local
okay to
interest
shake
for
it off, and
providing
Blake would come back
uniform
and
and
make
coaches
one. So the East coaches have to really preach that to Blake. Like this game doesn't really mean anything. Like you can't be afraid to mess up, but also have some fun out there. Let the ball fly, run a little bit, and spread it out.
Looking at the stats as we're nearing the end of the first quarter, 72 rush yards for the West, 17 for the East. Pass yards, 26 for the West, 35 for the East. Adds up to 98 total offensive yards for the West, just 52 for the East. One penalty for 15 yards West, 2 for 20 East. Blake King at the quarterback position, wearing jersey number 15. Bandana hanging out of the back of his head. I'm sure I'd want to give a defensive lineman any more to grab onto than I have to. There's a flag on the field. As King goes deep down the left side and not hanging on inside the 5-yard line.
Chandler Kinnault from New Richmond, and he just signaled to Blake King, my bad, as he said he should have had it. But there's some laundry at the 43.
We got personal foul on the defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Sure, King would rather have the completion, but he'll take the first down and 15 bonus yards for the personal foul penalty on the West. How do you get a personal foul in an All-Star?
I don't know, but Williams is very mad about the call as he's talking to the ref there after that. But hey, last game of the year, can't hold anything back, I guess.
I guess these guys don't watch the Pro Bowl where they're lucky to make contact, let alone get personal fouls.
Two-hand touch.
107, first and 10 from the West, 28 for the East. Best field position they've had all night. King Tucks it, is going to run inside the 20, 15, 10, looking for a block. He'll try to bulldoze his way, and he does inside the 5-yard line before he's forced out of bounds at the 3. So it'll be 1st and goal after the great run you're going to see on replay here by Blake King.
King pump fakes and scrambles, and he's holding that ball out again as we see number 24, Jalen Perry from Northwest finish off that tackle for the West All-Stars. But the East All-Stars about to see if they can capitalize with the good field position and 1st and goal from the 3.
That ball high, Blake. That's Tiki Barber. Hand off in the backfield to the running back from Loveland, Nate Webster III. He's going to be stopped for no gain. So it'll be 2nd and 3 from the 3. See if the West elects to run one more play or let the final seconds of the first quarter tick away here. 3. Blake King's going to get one more off. He's looking for a hole. He's going to dump it off to Webster on the right. Webster finds his way into the end zone for an East touchdown. Nice work by Blake King there. He knew he was under pressure and had to get rid of that ball in a hurry. Found Nate Webster off to his right and fell into the end zone for the first East score of the night.
And King looking to run, kind of like that Tim Tebow play, the jump pass that they ran back in the day as Webster finishes off for the touchdown in that ECC Milford to Loveland connection.
I don't know that I'd call that a pop pass.
Oh, I mean,
Tebow was about 6'8", isn't he?
He's like 6'4".
But still a good heads-up play by King.
There's Will Skaggs.
Webster, good awareness by Webster.
Skaggs in the kick, the PAT for the East All-Stars. Splits the uprights.
I'll tell you right now, the West is putting on more of a kick rush than anything in the NFL West, in the Pro Bowl.
Those guys just like, hey, what are you doing after the game, man? But, I mean, hey, hit somebody. You got pads on.
Do it. For umbrella drinks at the pool. Probably during the game. So 9-7 at the end of 1. Successful scoring drive for Blake King and the East All-Stars after the fumble recovery around the 45-yard line in West territory. So we do have some scholarship presentations taking place down on the field. Lots of that will be happening tonight. Some awards will take place at halftime as well. I encourage you to check out the SWOFCA.com website to get more information on all the awards and scholarships tonight.
Where you take yourself after you've already been promoted. Congratulations, Austin. Ron is shaking your head.
You know, that touchdown was a big momentum thing, Glenn. We talked about how Blake needed a morale booster, and I think it was a morale booster for the whole East squad. So we'll see if the defense can show up here and stop the West, as it's a 2-point game going in the second quarter.
Well, a little bit ahead of steam there for East, seizing momentum after the fumble, making their way promptly down to the end zone. East will kick off to the West. First time we've seen the East kick off.
No,
they won the. That's right, they deferred.
Connor Pohl from Cincinnati Country Day out to kick.
So we've got Ace Taylor deep, and I believe we've got
number 60, Connor Pohl.
Martis Edwards from Gamble deep, and I think it's Timothy Williams back there as well.
Pohl, better kick than the first one. Deep one, gets to about the 15.
I think that's Williams with the football. He brought down just across the 20-yard line at the 21.
Return by number 10 to Williams.
Yep. Tackle on the play by Logan Bloom of Waynesville. First and 10 for the West. Let's send it down to Patrick.
Longwood, who just made that great catch. Nate, what did you see on that play?
I thought that I was open, and I had to make a play for the team. And my blocking, so I just had to go dive right in it.
What's the thing you'll miss most about high school football?
Most say.
All right, Brewster takes the ball on the middle. Tackled on the play by East Alex.
And y'all got so close. And and it's hard to leave. So,
if nobody had ever been to Loveland before and have never seen it before, describe to them in a few words what Loveland is all about.
Loveland is a love, caring, great, like, it's great. They're always there for you. It's a great place to be.
All right, Nate, thank you so much. Congratulations and have a good game. Thanks, Nate. Guys.
All right, Patrick, thank you. We apologize for the difficulties we're having with our wireless mic. It always sort of gives us fits here at King Stadium for some reason. I've been down there before. Flag down on the field. It's going to be against the East, so the West will take advantage of the penalty after the offsides.
Glenn, I wonder what that's like for Webster to catch a touchdown from your rival quarterback. Like, I mean,
it's got to take some adjustment.
Yeah, I mean, definitely getting some used to, because as a proud Milford alum myself, we were taught to just like dislike that school. So I don't know how like that connection works. You got to like bury the hatchet, obviously.
Well, it's interesting. You know, I've heard Kirk Herbstreit, the ESPN analyst from Ohio State, just up the road in Centerville, talk about, you know, the rivalry with Michigan. Really, the hatred is more with the fans and not with the players. There's all kinds of contact there, and how we don't have a flag on both guys is beyond me. These guys were both hanging on to each other.
He should move north from Woodward, the intended receiver there.
My goodness.
Hey, it's an all-star game. We don't want to see any flags. Here's the replay.
I get it, but you know, sooner or later, you can't just
gotta call
do everything but tackle the guy.
They're hugging each other. Schaefer put a pretty ball, but incomplete. Second and 5, pardon me.
2nd and 5 from the 39. It's been an interesting game, for sure, in that regard, as far as the lack of penalties and what the players are able to get away with.
Yeah.
Yet we still had a personal foul.
Hey, it's all about what they see, and I like seeing Alex Daly all over the place as the only representative of the GCL, as that play just got blew up.
So this was 3rd and 1. I know we don't have a down and distance plug for you tonight, but that one didn't have a prayer for West. That was a handoff to Ryan Brewster from Clark, and as you see on your replay, he no more had the football in his hands and had 3 blue jerseys in his face. So Listo's going to come out, and we'll see a punt on the 4th and 4 from West's own 40-yard line, approaching 9:50 to go in the first half.
That was Joseph Carter from Princeton on the rush there, and really blowing up that play.
Rush comes in, and not the greatest punt in the world for Listo. Kinds of contact in the middle of the field, but it's going to take a West roll inside the 35-yard line before mercifully falling dead just inside that 35-yard line. So Listo avoids a little bit of trouble here. Not the greatest change of field position in the world, but definitely could have been a lot worse.
We'll see if the East can capitalize on it with 9:34 left here in the half. The West leads 9-7 still, as we're going to see number 3, Seth Becker, quarterback out of Bethel Tate, take over in the backfield for the East.
Running what I'm sure is a familiar offensive system that he ran during his high school career for the Tigers, Claremont County. Bethel Tate made it to the playoffs this year. I believe Jeff Essig picked up some Coach of the Year awards.
Becker under pressure.
All kinds of trouble, all kinds of red jerseys there. Put Becker out of his misery back around the 32-yard line.
That was Moore, Quantarius Moore out of Mount Healthy. The stop there for the West All-Stars, as you're going to see on the replay. Becker takes a 3 or 4 step drop, and just the pocket collapses.
Yeah.
And
looked clean, and all of a sudden it wasn't.
And then Moore came out of nowhere and got a sack as the East loses about 3, 2nd and 13.
Becker, again, with all kinds of time. He's going to step over to his left. He's going to keep it. He tucks the football. Whoa, nice shoulder being lowered, and he's all kinds of pumped up about that.
Yeah.
But he's going to be about 2 yards shy of a first down, but still a good pickup.
He's letting Tim Roberts from Talawanda know who's really here to hit. Woo! We're going to see the replay here. Becker, again, under a lot of pressure and finds some green space, and he's like, I'm going to lower my shoulder. Nice to meet you.
How many times have you seen a quarterback at any level lower his shoulder? That's awesome.
You don't see it a lot, but
That's
hey.
awesome. Handoff up the middle.
Tyrese Sherman.
Yeah.
Princeton.
Yeah.
Like these are nice.
Hey, that's a cool thing cool memory to have. Yeah, I trucked some linebacker in the All-Star game, and hell, we got it on TV. So.
I don't know if we got any of our local media colleagues here tonight, but that would be a good one for the 11 o'clock news, that's for sure. Sherman again.
Man.
Boy, they're hitting out there tonight. There's no all-star. These boys are hitting.
Now, it's none of this patty cake, two-hand touch crap. This is real Ohio high school football. I would put these two teams combined up against any other state because it's something about Cincinnati football, Glenn. Cincinnati high school football. Doesn't matter the month as there's a fumble.
There you go. So West trying to advance into East Territory. It was 2nd and 4 from the 48. And the football comes loose. And somebody may have gotten a bell rung.
I think that might have been Becker.
Becker, yeah. A little slow to get up, a little groggy. First impressions. He'll stay out there, though.
Third.
I don't know what day it is, but he's going to stay out there.
Hey, as long as he gets to a blue jersey, it's all that matters. Pretty throw.
Yeah, pass down the sideline, but into traffic. He was trying to get that one into the hands of Austin Watt from Anderson, but there on the breakups, Timothy Williams, who's been causing all kinds of trouble defensively tonight.
Versatile athlete, quarterback and a defensive back, and just done.
The offense, 6 men on the line, 5-yard penalty. We're going to repeat third down.
Illegal formation for the East there.
Down. Decline it, 4th down.
Oh, I was going to say that's a mixed blessing. You're going to keep it at 3rd down, but the West decides to decline the 6-man on the offensive line penalty and bring up 4th down, and the East will be forced to burn their first timeout of the first half.
Got 7-11 left in that first half. What do you think the East is talking about there, Glenn, on 4th and 8?
I think they want to get everybody in the right position to punt the football away, but as we've talked about, they don't have a specialist listed on the roster, so they very well may be putting a play call in to go for this on 4th and 8 from the 49-yard line. I guess if it falls incomplete, it's no harm, no foul, right?
Yeah, you're at midfield.
So yeah, that would be my guess. It's either to get the right special teams personnel or to get a good play call out that's good for at least 8 yards.
I'd like to see them to try to go to Austin Watt again. He's that big body. He's 6'5". Put it up there where he can get it. Don't overthrow him, and just hopefully they can complete a pass.
It'll be interesting. You know, most of these teams nowadays are running the spread offense, and quarterback lines up in the pistol to see if they'll put anybody back a little bit deeper just to compensate for the lack of cohesion on the offensive line.
Right, as we're going to see Becker in the pistol right now. Trying to get him to jump. 15 seconds left on the play clock.
Well, you can't take your timeouts in the locker room with you.
Nope.
Couldn't get him to jump, so now they will get a play call off. Becker rolls out to his right. Has a receiver open down inside the 25-yard line.
It's Edmund Ace Taylor from Purcell Marion, the intended receiver. There's a late flag comes in.
And that one's going to go on the East. It looks like Raphael Floyd let his temper get the best of him going up against Timothy Williams.
As you said, caused a lot of havoc tonight, Glenn.
Yeah. He's a needler. He's a heck of an athlete, but he is a needler. He is pushing buttons out there tonight on against the East team and against the officials. So here you see Becker.
Just puts it up there. And
so we lost our official there. We forgot to click his mic, but it's still East football.
So unsportsmanlike conduct on the East. Or he pointed towards the West, but he said East. So they're pointing West football.
Yeah, they're back in.
Okay, there he corrects his call.
Okay. So now it'll be first down for the West after the penalty.
And Williams is still on the field for those West All-Stars. Looks like he's spread out wide, and number 12, Alex Schaefer, The quarterback from Clark is in the backfield.
Just thinking Sherman might want to stay away from Timothy Williams over there on the east sideline.
Man, Glenn, good turnout for the West faithful tonight, and obviously a good turnout for the East, as this is pretty as a home game for the East All-Stars. But nice to see the West faithful making the trek out here to Kings Mills Kings.
Well, a lot of parents, obviously, family and teammates here to see players play for the last time. There's a deep pass going to Williams in the end zone.
Wow.
He manages to hang on in double coverage and roll into the end zone for a touchdown.
Wow. Hey, I mean, if you're going to talk, your game's got to follow it up, and it did just that.
Yeah, it did. It did. But to finish my thought there on attendance tonight, not only do you have family here, as we take a look at the replay on the touchdown pass to Williams, right down the middle, splits the defenders, hangs on, rolls into the end zone. Good job of hanging on to that ball. It's only $5 to get into this game, and that all goes to scholarships that are handed out. Listo's extra point is good. So the West will move in front 16-7 with 6:56 remaining in the second quarter. But yeah, just an event everyone looks forward to. I believe this is my 4th year covering this game. Just a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Glenn, like they've even got the concession stand open. I think Kona Ice was out there to get the small ones, have a little bit of fun with that, and really just get to enjoy some football in June. We don't get to do this a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously, a one-time-a-year thing. It's not terribly cold in the middle of November, but as the sun's going down, it's getting a little bit cooler. It's still kind of sticky, but it's a picture-perfect night here in Kings, as Kings Island is to our right. We'll get some fireworks at 10 o'clock tonight. Hopefully the game's not going that late, but if it does, we'll get some fireworks to our right, and hopefully just they're having fun out there, Glenn. That's all. This is what it's about, having fun and letting these guys strap up the pads one more time.
Hopefully we get some offensive fireworks down on the field.
One could hope.
But yeah, just a great event. And honestly, for any of these players going on to play in college, they're going to be dealing with the heat when they report anyways.
Yeah, so get used to being sticky. But I think it's even bigger for the guys that aren't going on to play. It's, they can put this jersey in their dorm room or wherever and say that they were selected as an all-star. And that's a big honor, Glenn, because obviously there's only 11 on the field for each team at each time. So you got to be the best of the best to get here, and they're honestly proving it.
As camera work, saw Listo kick it away. Fielded by the deep man right around the 10-yard line.
Marcus Borden from Walnut Hills.
Yeah. Borden did a good job of hanging on to that football. It was off on his fingertips there for a moment. So 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line, with the East in the unfamiliar position of trailing in this game, based on recent history. Not these players in particular, based on recent history.
Luke Wiederholt, quarterback out of Fayetteville, is back in the backfield for the East as he tries to spark the East squad to get them a score, as there's 6:50 remaining here in the first half. 1st and 10 from the 25.
Wiederholt was 2 of 5 for 15 yards passing on his first possession.
Get rid of it.
He's going to take some yards off there. He's going to be dropped for about a 13-yard loss.
That was number 76, Derek McIntyre from Edgewood, finishing that play off for the West All-Stars, as Wiederholt lost a lot of yardage there. So you're going to see as Wiederholt tries to force him off, but just no blocking, and they finish off that play.
We know the Cougars know how to play some defense up in Edgewood. Send it down to Patrick with Will Skaggs.
Hey guys, Skaggs from Batavia. So Will, tell me, when you heard you were going to play in this game, what was your first reaction?
I was very excited. It was something like I didn't think it was going to happen. It was really exciting to know, like, having a coach want me to come and play with them. Playing with all these guys. It's been one of the funnest things I've ever done in my life.
Tell me where you're going to college, your major, and why.
I'm going to go to Mount St. Joseph University and major in business with a focus on financial economics, because I feel like that's the best fit for me. I know a lot of guys up there. I know I've got a relationship with some of the coaches up there. It's going to be really fun up there.
How's it playing in this game tonight?
It's fun. I love it.
How have you been able to bond with your teammates? Is this a close East group?
It's a very close East group. We have group chats. We hang out all the time afterwards. It's it's fun. It's better than I thought it was going to be.
Alrighty, Will, thank you so much. Congratulations and have a good game.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Will Skaggs from Batavia, guys.
Thanks, Patrick and Will. It's 3rd and 19. The ball's on the 21-yard line. 5:30 remaining in the second quarter. Pass coming up is complete. Kinhalt from New Richmond. Wiederhold to Kinhalt. Kinhalt able to cover him in a playoff game with Mount Healthy 2 years ago. I believe he might have been injured in that game. And Richmond came back to win.
There's a replay of Kinhalt on the reception as we've got 4th and about 12 for the East All-Stars as they're in punt formation.
Yeah, the East offense really struggling tonight. And they took advantage of the turnover and short field on the last possession, but in terms of being able to find much momentum, they haven't been able to do that tonight.
It's Owen Holtke from Bethel Tate there on the punt for the East All-Stars and has a good bounce.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to roll back in or roll out of bounds, but it bounces back in toward the near hash and will be down in the neighborhood of the 33-yard line.
Joseph Carter from Princeton finishing off that play. Down in the ball as the West will take over with 4:24 left. 16-7 lead.
Timothy Williams from Aiken down there getting familiar with the official.
Hey, I mean,
nothing wrong with a little charm, right?
It's all about who you know. Might need a call in the second half so you start schmoozing them, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, it's an East All-Star game, or it's an East-West All-Star game. Got to have some fun with it.
1st and 10 from the 33. The West squad leading 16-7 and back on offense. 3 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. Quarterback position is Alex Schaefer from Clark. He's trying to find Courtney Woodward from North College Hill. Pass falls incomplete.
Sebastian Lewis, defensive back out of Withrow on the coverage there as we're going to see that previous play. Good ball, just a little underthrown, and Lewis almost had a hand on it, but I guess that's why he plays defense.
I think Schaefer would have liked another half a second to hang on to that ball, but he had to get rid of it because the Army was coming at him.
We see here on the east sideline, Blake King and Raphael Floyd warming up, trying to get the East spark back in it as he goes deep and short.
Well off the mark, but he sure had to wind up to get rid of that football. Did Alex Schaefer. It was a hard wind-up and just not a lot of accuracy on it, unfortunately, for the West fans and players.
Intended for number 1, Martise Edwards from Gamble High School. Just a little undershort.
Clock stopped at 4:11. It's 3rd and 10 from the 33 for the incompletion. 2 receivers to the top and bottom. Schaefer calls for the football. He's going to pass. Quick pop pass out to the left side, trying to find Montgomery from Mount Healthy. Too far out in front of him. It'll fall incomplete.
And you think any relation to David Montgomery from Mount Healthy?
That's a good question. I don't know that.
So David Montgomery off at Iowa State, having a big year.
Fantastic career at Iowa State.
Named Big 12 Freshman of the Week a couple times this year. Was Mr. Everything for the Owls back in his senior campaign. Punter, place kicker, quarterback, wherever they needed him, he played.
The snap almost got away from Listo. A nice recovery. Now the East is playing catch-up. Marcus Borden let that one get by him. He comes up with the football and advances it out across the 20 before being brought down. Good thing he didn't let that football deflect off of him. That could have spelled disaster for the East.
Yes, sir. But
Blake King will come back out and make another appearance at quarterback for the East All-Stars.
3:54 remaining here in the first half. The East takes over in their own territory. The 22. So we'll see if King can get something started for the Eagles. Here's the replay of the punt.
And you see it almost got by Listo.
Not a great punt, and almost gets by Borden on the return there, and starts running south and not north, or not running north. So it's King's first pass complete to number 5, Dylan Fry out of Lakota East.
Scoreboard said 23, but it was actually closer to the 22 where that ball was spotted and snapped from. Be advanced out to the 28, so it should be a gain of 5. They're going to call it 4. 2nd and 6. And that yard's getting ticky-tacky on that yard. Hand off to Webster. Nice spin move, but he spins right into a couple of red jerseys, and he'll be called down at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a short loss of a 1/3 of a yard, commonly known as a foot.
Cameron Hughes from North College Hill, the initial contact for the West All-Stars, as his teammates came and helped him finish that play.
King with trips to the top, one to the bottom. Webster in the backfield. Looks like he's going to run, but then he pulls up and tries a quick pass intended for Ace Taylor, Purcell Marion. A little too high, even though Ace did a good job of going up and trying to get a hand on it and haul it in. But it does fall incomplete. Clock stopped at 2:51.
King under some pressure again and leaves it just short, it was a good defensive play, really. Number 25 there for the West. Ezekiel Walker out of West High on the defense there is number 81, Owen Holtke, the running back linebacker and converted punter, back on the field for the East All-Stars as the West takes a timeout.
Yep. Didn't take him with him. So West will take a timeout as East lines up the punt. We'll see if East stays with the punt play, which I'm sure they will, being this deep in the territory.
2:51 left. I think the East will punt, Glenn. They'll end the half and they'll come back out in the second half, hopefully a little bit rejuvenated. And
it's 4th and 4 there.
Fake it.
They've done worse.
Could snap it to an up back. Put in, you can put in Webster or any of your other running backs from all over the place, and maybe they can get that short 4 yards, but I don't know if you risk it this late or this deep in your territory.
Yeah, especially trailing by 9, but maybe Callie Jones is just hedging his bets and burning that timeout just in case East was thinking of trying to pull a trick play here on the punt. Do have one up man.
Tommy Bauman, the wide receiver from Kings. That's not right.
Not much of a rush coming by West. Punt goes away, gets off without incident. It takes a West bounce back toward the 40-yard line before being corralled and down. So West with all kinds of momentum here in this first half. They're leading 16-7, 2:41 remaining. It'll be 1st and 10 from their own 40-yard line. Yeah, really surprised with the East. The players on the roster that are familiar to us, and talking with our pal Adam Baum of the Inquirer before the game, just we kind of thought based on the roster and coaching staff that the East would have an advantage, but the West has really come out and proved a point here thus far in the game. And quarterback for West is Alex Schaefer still from Clark. Quarterback that last series as well. Run up the middle doesn't yield a whole lot. See the handoff to Courtney Woodward of North College Hill, one of our ICRC communities. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8.
David Tosh there from Miami doing a great job of stopping it. It was a deep to pass.
Wow, all kinds of contact there. Shane McNally from LaSalle, the intended receiver. Marcus Borden from Walnut Hills there to break it up. Regular season game, I think we would have seen some longer.
Yeah.
But, kudos to the West for being aggressive.
It's a replay. Good pass, McNally and Borden just going at it, and Borden jumps up. And
I a headlock.
He's not wrong. It wasn't a headlock, but we've got 3rd and 8. Ball on the 42.
If you took a picture of that, it would look like a headlock. I know he didn't fully clinch it, but it looked like that moment in time.
Schaefer, nobody's home.
Miscommunication, and that could have been picked off by number 7, Brown from Withrow. Had he been there a step sooner. Could have been a headlock. No flag. Go down and take a look at the replay here, and you can see the receiver was going one way and the quarterback was going the other. It's usually not a good combination. So now West will punt, facing 4th and 8 from their own 42-yard line with 2 minutes and 3 seconds left in the half.
Listo in the punt for the West. Borden back deep for the East as Listo kicks him.
Yeah.
Bomb.
Much better punt fielded by Borden from Walnut Hills. He's tackled immediately after catching it. Good job hanging on to the football.
28, Ethan Mingus from Ross. Being one of the flankers and just flying down the field as you're going to see Listo's kick. Just absolutely gets a piece of it. Borden takes 1 or 2 steps and gets met immediately.
Seth Becker in at quarterback for the East with 1:55 remaining. Would think he'd be familiar with Coach Essig's 2-minute drill calls. See if the East can find some momentum here before heading into the halftime locker room. Becker calls for the football, finds an opening. He's going to tuck it and run, has a block out in front of him, gets away from one blocker. First down and more, 40-yard line, and finally tripped up around the 43. It looked to me like that was Joe Valentine of Ross. Able to get a shoelace or an ankle there to bring Becker down.
That was a great stiff arm by Becker there as he was deep in West secondary and to convert the first down as East is trying to drive a 2-minute drill.
Becker going deep, has an open receiver down the right sideline. The pass is complete inside the 15-yard line. And what a catch by Raphael Floyd of Princeton. We told you he's a dynamic playmaker, and he proves it right there for the East All-Stars. So East definitely with momentum and in business here late in the first half.
Great protection for Becker, and Floyd coming down with the great ball as Becker's going deep again. Wow, what a snag.
Well, you talk about going upstairs.
Chandler Kinnoff from New Richmond. It looks like he landed on the ball, but that's a big touchdown for the East here at the end of the first half.
It absolutely is. They moved the ball quickly down the field. Yeah, he came down on the football. He's all kinds of sore and out of breath, but he'll take the touchdown any day. Going to see this here on the replay coming up for you, courtesy of our guys in the truck. You see Becker all kinds of time. Good pass over to the left side. Kinnault had to go up and get it. And I don't think he came down on the football. He just came down hard on that left shoulder and on his back.
That was Mike Browning on the coverage of Harrison for the West All-Stars, but not good enough as the East converts. See if they can get the PAT.
This is Will Skaggs then to attempt the point AT.
Definitely a
point after
false
try.
start. No false start?
No! Encroachment on the defense.
It's going to be
Distance, redo the down.
Encroachment is called on the West All-Stars. So the East finds a little momentum here late in the first half.
Skaggs in to kick for the East. Looks like the ball's a little bit closer. He's got a chip shot here to get the point after try. Snap, the hold, the kick. Splits the uprights. It's good.
I think we have our score backward on our score bug for you. It was 16-13 West. Favor West before that timeout. Or before that point after try. Oh, I'm still on vacation. So 16-14, West leads. 1 minute and 17 seconds left. We've seen all kinds of action here in the closing minutes of this first half. Let's go back and take a look at the touchdown because, man, that was a fun play to watch. There you say Kinholt. We got a better angle of it on replay from our end zone cam. So Kinholt come down hard on that shoulder.
Holtke in the kickoff for the East. With the ball being placed at the East 45-yard line.
thinking about that cone of ice now. It's still kind of hot out there.
It is kind of sticky in the booth. They were jealous that we had air conditioning, but it is hot up in here. Let me tell you guys that.
It's not flowing into our broadcast position. Windows are open, but the wind's blowing the other way apparently. Must be blowing to our back. It's definitely not coming in the front. Wolfke set to kick off for the East All-Stars. 1:17 remaining in the first half. Nice kick. Fielded by the up man in the far hash. Decent enough return, just running the wrong direction. Going east-west instead of north-south. Right from Lachlan, I heard our PA announcer say. Decent enough field position for the West All-Stars at the 27-yard line with a minute and 9 seconds, in which they can work, try to add to their 2-point lead.
East has 2 timeouts remaining. The West has 1. I expect at least 1 or 2 of those to be used on this drive, but I could be wrong. Looks like our talker, Timothy Williams, is in a quarterback, Aiken High School.
Yeah, and he's going to run the football, which is kind of why I thought they put him out there at that position.
Connor Pohl, the linebacker from Cincinnati Country Day, the initial contact there for the East All-Stars.
Gain of 5 officially, maybe closer to 6. So 2nd and 5, 7 and 4, 2nd and 4, pick your poison. Williams almost bobbles the snap, thought about passing. He's trying to roll out to his left away from the pressure, but the pressure will catch up to him, and he'll be sacked inside the 25-yard line.
Dylan Fry and Garrett Vanover there respectively for the East.
It's going to be 3rd and a bunch here. About 20 seconds to go after the sack.
And you see Vanover coming like a bull. Fry getting the ankles, Vanover finishing the play, and 10 seconds left, and looks like we are going to end the half. 16-14 West lead.
I kind of thought they may call a timeout and get one more playoff, but that's not going to happen. So at halftime, West All-Stars lead. East All-Stars 16-14. Pretty good first half of action. Let's send it down to Patrick with Jeff Essig.
Hey guys, with head coach Jeff Bessick from the head coach of the East Side. Jeff, a good touchdown there to end the quarter. How'd that boost your team's morale?
It did a great job for him. We needed that big time to bring in the half. We get the ball coming out, so that was the end of the half.
What was your first reaction when you found out you would coach in this game?
Joy, because we had a heck of a season with my. And into our next one is just great.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in a second.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Guys.
Thanks, Patrick. And so we did lose a little bit of what Coach was saying there. They did have a heck of a season out in Bethel Tate this year, is what he was starting to say. 16-14 at halftime. We're going to take a break here and be back with the second half of action in just a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to Southwest Ohio.
unvelcro a little bit. That's fine. This should be like in front of the focus. It should be
Welcome back to the second half of the East-West All-Star Game. Let's send it down to our sideline reporter, Patrick Geshem, with breaking news. Patrick.
Hey, Glenn. Well, the news that's breaking right now is the current weather situation. There's currently a big batch of showers and thunderstorms right now just north of Richmond, Indiana. That's about 45 miles from here, and it's moving pretty slowly, but moving right in this direction. So we'll have to see if we can get this game in on time before the rain starts. And if that does happen, we'll pretty lucky, so we'll have to watch the weather here as the second half continues on with showers about to move into the area.
Thanks, Patrick. Score is 16-14 in favor of the West. And looking at the halftime stats, you have to wonder how the East is not winning this game. Rushing yards, a slight edge to the West, 81-68. Passing yards in favor of the East, 109-64. The Bowling Green math tells me that's 177 total yards for the East, 145 for the West. The stat that jumped out to me, David Olson, third down conversions. The West All-Stars just 1 of 7 on third down. The East 3 of 9.
Hey, I mean, you got to convert on third down, but the West is obviously not getting a third down as the kickoff starts the half. But we'll see if both teams can convert more on third down. As number 2, Marcus Borden gets loose, gets one block.
He's got a block out in front.
Is it the 40? They're saying he stepped out.
Of bounds. Can we get a sideline review on that?
I want a challenge. Somebody throw the red flag. Where's it at? Where's that Madden button? Press it. Good Lord. Man, Borden wanted a house call, and he almost got it there, Glenn.
Sure did. Very impressive return by Marcus Borden coming out of the half. Obviously, we don't have a camera angle over here, but from up here, he must have just had a heel touch that sideline. So fantastic field position for the East All-Stars to start. And here we take a look at the replay. Borden comes into your picture just there. Sort of leapfrogs or hurdles over one and must have just stepped out of bounds right there.
He's got white cleats. They don't know if it was out there. Blake King goes deep, incomplete.
Blake King from Milford in to start at quarterback for the East in the second half.
Looked like he was going for number 15, Austin Watt out of Anderson High School, number 14.
2nd and 10 after the incompletion by King. Good field position, as we mentioned, at the 47 for the East All-Stars.
False start, Raphael Floyd. Woo.
Dead ball.
Slow down,
Full start
big man.
on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
It's like Canadian rules. In Canada, they can get like a running start or like arena football, I think. Yeah. I don't know. It was on ESPN, but Raphael Floyd's getting his leagues mixed up here.
Way to narrow it down.
Okay, arena or Canadian, one of the two. I narrowed it down.
I got you. 2nd and 15 after the penalty. King in the pistol. Hands it off. Nice run back.
Holtke.
Over into West territory. Inside the 45-yard line. Holtke from Bethel Tate. Getting it done with his feet in a variety of ways tonight.
Good run by Holtke. That's a high number for a running back, 81. You don't see that one.
He's listed as a running back, linebacker, and we've seen him kick. Talked about.
A little bit of everything.
2nd and 3.
3rd.
Trips to the bottom, 1 to the top, and that's going to be West jumping into the neutral zone.
Dead ball. Encroachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
I don't think it was 2nd and 3, but it'll be about 3rd and about 2 now. Looks like
3rd and 8, I think is what it.
Yeah, well, it should have been.
So after the 5-yard penalty, 3rd and 3, and it's a short 3, and there's more laundry on the field as West, or East gives it right back, excuse me, with a false start.
Repeat the down.
That's not the way you want to start a halftime. We're not even a full minute in. There's been 3 flags.
It's not the way you want to get a game in before the rain hits either.
Valid.
I don't think the players care, but. King takes the snap all kinds of time, throws a rainbow pass down the left side, has a receiver open. Can he hang on? And the answer is no. Unfortunately for East fans, he was looking to get that ball to number 14, Austin Watt from Anderson High School.
Close. No cigar.
I just had my eyes fixed.
By number 25.
It was a little blurry. Yep,
man,
off his fingertips and good defensive pressure being applied there by the West. Number 25, Hezekiah Walker from Western Hills.
Isn't that where Pete Rose went to high school?
Pete Rose did go to West High. So did Don Zimmer, if you know that name. Blake King, all kinds of time, lets it rip.
Watt again, and off his fingertips.
Yep.
And look who's on the coverage, number 10. Timothy Williams, and he's making sure that everyone knew that he deflected that pass.
He related Chad Johnson. He's a showman on the field for sure.
Ah, man. God, I miss those Ocho celebrations.
Here you see King rolling out to his right, lets the pass fly. Took a heck of a lick at the end of that one, as you saw.
Keegan Rogers from Baden.
Yeah. Turtle rundowns. West High is still huddled over on the sideline with their coaching staff, trying to get their play call in before they take the field for their first offensive possession of the second half, leading 16-14. Get your passes in now in case we're still here when this rain hits.
Speaking of Chad Johnson, his former counterpart, Terrell Owens, has said he is not attending Canton for his Hall of Fame induction.
Huh. Why would you do that?
I don't know.
I did see where he tweeted at the Niners saying that they need a big receiver. He's available to sign. I think it's the last thing in the world the Niners are going to do, but that's just me. So, who does sit-ups in the driveway? Grill out or sit-ups in the driveway, right?
Yeah. That's one way to celebrate the bus being forever enshrined in this great city of Canton, Ohio, just north.
Then you need Drew Rosenhaus there saying next question, or they have a press conference and he didn't answer any questions. That's just.
He needs the bus with the popcorn shaking into his helmet.
2nd and 5, and a quarterback for the West squad. It's Javante Barr of North College Hill, one of our ICRC communities. Not a whole lot went right on that play for the West.
Number 35, Zachary Ball, linebacker, Lebanon High School, all 5'11", and 225 of them on that stop there for the East squad.
A short trip down Route 48 here to Kings High School.
Man, this is where they play the Outback Bowl, don't they? Don't they do like something? Because Outback Steakhouse is right up the street.
I'll tell you, I kind of wish it was the Outback Bowl. I could use a blooming onion right around there.
Hey, the
Third and 4.
Big Ten wins, right?
Yeah. 3rd and 4. All kinds of time, looking to go deep.
Pretty ball.
Wow, and hauled in. Fantastic catch on the near sideline by Shane McNally, the LaSalle Lancer. So West in business here after the turnover on downs from East, and they've been able to capitalize on a big connection there. So it will be 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line. 9:15 remaining. Personnel shifts for West. It's going to send 2 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. It's going to be a handoff, quick handoff to Ryan Brewster of Clark. Dives up the middle, gain of a couple yards. 16-14, under 8:50 to go now in the 3rd quarter. The West All-Stars out in front, but driving. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
Second down, ball to the 15.
So you're going to see number 70, Joey Grober, Claremont Northeast Rocket, finishing that play off for the East as we've got 2nd and about 6 inside the 20.
Looking over to the far corner, all kinds of contact in the end zone. Pass incomplete. On the coverage, Q Taylor from Purcell Marion.
Deshaun Lawrence from Taft.
Clock stops at 8:25 after the incompletion. 3rd and 7 as the West offense looks over to the sideline to get the play call in.
Lots of contact, as Glenn mentioned, and just he lands out of bounds. Number 15, Deshaun Lawrence. So we're going to go to 3rd down inside the 20, as I just mentioned.
Okay, Javante Barr's got an arm. He's going to go back to that same play, contact, and there we'll get a flag on that. As the receiver was impeded on his way to the back corner of the end zone. Yeah.
That was 0 Q Taylor.
Yeah, it's the same matchup that we just saw.
Yeah.
Same play, same matchup, the whole 9 yards, right?
Yeah, and Timothy Williams asking for that call, and he's done a lot of talking, and it's kind of paying off here late in the
Receiver
early
was
second
different.
half.
That wasn't Williams on the last one, but same play call.
Hey.
Holding on the defense. 10-yard penalty. That's going to be a 1st down.
1st and goal for the West All-Stars after that.
Well, the West in prime position here to add to their 2-point lead. And we'll be surprised that they don't. The way Javante Barr of ICRC Community North College Hill is throwing the football on this drive.
Looks like we're going to go for a run here as the West has brought in a big Upman.
See who gets the call in the backfield.
Got long hair. I can't see his number.
Big boy.
It's like that old Bengals play they used to run. Domata Pecco just plow on the red, but that didn't work.
That one doesn't work out so well. The ball's handed off to Micaiah Wright of Lachlan. There's no room for him in which to move.
It's number 17, Jason Smith, the defensive lineman out of Hamilton High School. Pride of the Big Blue as he's exiting the field now, but good idea by the West All-Stars to put him in and put a big body in, try to clear a path, but the East just collapsed very well. 2nd and goal.
2nd and goal from the 10-yard line.
Fumble!
Ball's loose on the ground. Barr picks it up and tries to make chicken salad out of the other. Advances the football inside, right to the 11-yard line. Excuse me, I thought maybe he got inside the 10, but they're going to mark him at the 11. So all kinds of momentum has stalled here in a hurry for the West All-Stars.
As we saw
in the red zone.
As you're going to see number 60, Connor Pohl in the background. He's headed to the University of Miami in Florida, or AKA the U, starting in the fall, trying to cause some disruption.
All kinds of time, but the pressure catches up. Barr tries to throw it away at the last minute, and a flag's going to come down. Not sure if we're going to get grounding yet, and there we are. There's the official indication of grounding. That'll be loss of down as well.
There's Garrett Vanover, number 79, in the backfield for the East All-Stars. As we've called his name a lot tonight for a lineman, Glenn. He's definitely caused some disruptions, and especially getting that fumble in the first half.
Yeah. Jeff Essig talking with our official on how he wants to see things unfold after the grounding penalty. So that'll march the... Why is everybody backing up? I don't understand that if it was a grounding call.
Yeah, it should go the other way.
Confusion reigns supreme on the field at the moment. So we're trying to get things sorted out down on the field. There's the official indication of the grounding on the west. It's lost it down. So now East will take over. 1st and 10 on their own 30-yard line. Oh no, it's going to be 4th down. Okay.
4th and 30.
So lost it down because of the grounding, so it brings up 4th down. So 4th and goal from California. And they're going back to that left corner of the end zone.
Late flag, wow.
Yeah, flag comes in late as there was all kinds of contact in that back corner. And there you see Q Taylor.
He was hyped
sided with his defense. Now he understands. Now he sees there's a flag on the field. And he goes from elation to heartbreak.
That was a late flag, Glenn. I mean, there's been a lot of contact. If you're going to call that now, you got to call those for the rest of the ones that we're seeing from, like number 10, Timothy Williams. You can't just call this on one side. But
I don't disagree.
Wow, Q Taylor just broken-hearted after a late flag comes in.
It wasn't quite Ohio State, the U late, but it was still late. Back in 2002.
Pass interference on the defense. 15 yards. It's going to repeat 4th down, though.
Okay, so that takes the ball from the 30 back up to the 15.
That's about where we were, right? For the grounding call?
Back and forth kind of game, Glenn, and we'll see if the East defense can prevail for the 3rd time in a row and get another stop.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we've seen much worse contact that went uncalled. Why, to your point, why you start throwing that flag now is a little bit of a mystery to me.
Oh, Sergio
Now we're going to get a field goal try by Sergio Listo, Wyoming. Good call.
He's got to hurry his kicks. He's taking a lot of time, and that's allowing the East to get in as they block it.
Yep, it's blocked. Well, and that one's not all on him. That's his holder having to get the ball down.
Yeah.
He can't kick it if the ball's not ready. So. And again, it's an
Kicker.
all-star game.
5-yard penalty, repeat 4th down.
So we get a penalty on running into the kicker.
That'll move it
that'll move the ball to the 10. Let's go back and see if we can. There it is. That was truly running into the kicker.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of calls, like I think against the Bengals that have gone uncalled. Like when Kevin Huber got kicked in the face or something. But different story. This is high school football. Let's have some fun with it.
We could have a 2-hour talk show on why the Bengals don't get calls, and it starts on defense. But anyway.
Or you mean Vontez Perfect
and they don't stay on the offensive field long enough to get new calls. Anyway, back to high school football. It was a penalty for running into the kicker. West will stick with the field goal try. The ball will be snapped from the 10 now. Listo is going to line up just inside the 20 at the 19. Let's see if his holder, Sean Lawrence of Taft, can get the snap down any quicker. Boy, East was coming. But those 5 yards help because he boots it through the upright. So West will move in front 19-14. Still a one-score game. Or one-possession game, excuse me.
From the rotation we've seen, Glenn, it looks like Becker will be coming out for the East, and I'm excited to see what he does. If him and Coach got clicking during halftime, get the offense working right, you got to start connecting with those wide receivers. You got Floyd, you got Fry, you got Watt.
And hopefully there's not a whole lot of clicking with your head coach you got to do since you played for him in high school.
Right. I mean,
but I think what you need is some help on the offensive line. At this point, the problem that I've seen so far is just the East offensive line has struggled a little bit in this game and not given their quarterback time. And conversely, we need quarterbacks to make some quicker decisions if you're an East fan. Shot of the cheerleaders out here. this East-West All-Star game at Kings High School. Beautiful night for football.
If we got Borden and Sherman back deep for the East, Walnut Hills and Princeton respectively, as we'll see if we can get another return from Borden.
Yeah,
maybe he doesn't step out of bounds this time.
Borden lit it up last time.
If I'm Listo, I kick away from him by all means.
Becker, as David said, will probably be in at quarterback. He's 4 of 7 passing on a night for 76 yards and a TD along of 43.
And they're going to Borden.
I don't know why you'd kick back to him.
Here we go.
They do. He's going to go right back to the right side of the field.
Whoop.
Tries to cut back.
Whoop.
Still on his feet. Did not step out of bounds. No whistle. And he'll advance the football up across the 35-yard line to the 37.
Walker there from West High, from the west. To take down
side.
I don't know. I mean, I'm a pride. I was
what
born
they say over there.
They do say that. I mean,
for sake of bounds.
You know, I was over there earlier and I had to take my passport, but like I didn't get it renewed, so like I wasn't like it was like a temporary visa.
You are a true East Sider. You're talking about taking a passport to the west side of town. Goodness.
Hey, you gotta have some fun with it.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm proud.
All right, first and 10, 6:25. Ball's on the 36-yard line.
Becker in the backfield.
Seth Becker is going to hand the football off, and it's not going to go very far. In fact, it's going to go for a loss of a yard.
That's Nate Webster III from Loveland. So it looks like the East has mixed up some running backs, as Webster was usually with King.
Like King, yeah.
Now Sherman might be with King, but we'll see if Webster and Becker can get clicking.
Trips to the bottom, single receiver to the top. He pulls it down. He's going to keep it himself, and he's going to be spun down at the 40-yard line. So he'll get back a little bit of what he lost and advance the ball up to the 40-yard line, which should set up a 3rd and 6.
That was Tyler Long, the inside linebacker from Hughes High School. Stopping Becker there as we've got 3rd and 6, ball on the 40, 5:37 and counting here in the third quarter. Timeout East as Becker calls that by himself. A little confusion there. Their first of the half.
Probably not a bad timeout call. I mean, I think it's important if you're rooting for the East in this game that they walk away with points on this drive, and you definitely don't want to lose that opportunity because everybody wasn't on the same page. You can only freelance so much in this All-Star game. You know, we've seen a couple busted plays already tonight with receivers going one way and quarterbacks thinking they're going another. So probably not the worst idea in the world. There you see Becker a little shook up after that run. And it looks like he's going to come out of the game and maybe go, just guessing here, but maybe get evaluated for a potential concussion. He's a little starry-eyed.
Got Blake King strapped up in there for the East All-Stars. See if he can convert after Becker goes down with a little confusion as the trainers take him to the near sideline around the 40, and they're going to start to evaluate him. But Blake King, Webster in the backfield.
Well, that's a shame that the East had to burn a timeout. You would hope that Becker could have maybe taken a knee and told an official that wasn't feeling too well, or one of his teammates might have noticed that he was a little groggy, and hate to see a timeout burnt. That's going to be a penalty on the East. Let's send it down to Patrick, who's over on the west sideline.
Okay, a lot of Talawanda here with Tim Roberts from the Braves. So, Tim, tell me your first reaction when you found out you were going to play in this game.
I was pretty shocked because, you know, some of these guys out here are D1 athletes, you know. There's a lot of talent out here, but it's been an honor to play with these guys.
How much fun are you having tonight?
Oh, so much fun, dude. So much fun. Forced a fumble, smacked the running back after a screen pass. Great feeling, dude.
Now, you're one of the few players in this game that's going to end up going to the military or going into the Marines. Tell me a little bit why you chose that and how it's looking for you.
Well, I basically chose the Marines because I knew I always wanted to serve. I didn't know what branch until last summer, and I have to go.
Okay, Tim has to go, guys.
Well, we definitely thank him in advance for his service to our country in the Marine Corps. It's a big decision young people have to make to decide to enlist in one of the armed forces, and certainly appreciate his maturity. Back to live action. It's 4th and 11. The East is in punt formation, after the incompletion, and we're going to have a penalty on the field, and it looks like East moved early, a false start, so they'll give West 5 more yards of an advantage.
And Connor Pohl is now back in the punt. Him and Holtke have been switching, as we mentioned. Pohl headed down to Miami, Florida in the U to attend school. Good snap. Good boot by Pohl.
Punt's fielded at the 35-yard line.
Williams.
Yep, Timothy Williams takes the ball over to the right and runs right into the East roster, or the East squad, which I'm sure he's not too entirely upset about.
That was 18, Chandler Kinnault forcing Williams out. As the West will take over in East territory. Ball to 47, as you just heard our PA announcer say.
5:04 remaining in the third quarter. 19-14. Favor of the West All-Stars. Certainly want to send our best wishes down to the East quarterback who exited the game, Seth Becker from Bethel Tate. Hope he's okay. Certainly hope it's not anything serious.
I think he might have headed back to the locker room.
Do not want to see any type of injury in an all-star game, let alone something like a concussion, which can be challenged to come back from for some individuals. Handoff up the middle, and that's going to be a nice gainer of about 8 yards. Probably called 7 officially for the West.
Great run by Ryan Brewster, running back from Clark, and just keeps the feet going as a lot of East jerseys are just keep tackling him, and Clark does a great job of just keeping his feet churning.
Yep, chop those feet, they used to say.
Oh, yeah. They're going to give it to him again, and he's met immediately by number 34, David Tosh, the defensive lineman from Little Miami.
2nd and 2 is going to become 3rd and 2.
What? So just be careful.
Us too. Thanks, PA announcer.
You say we'd like to get it what?
Like to get the game finished. As Pat mentioned earlier, we've got some weather in the area, so we're going to try to limit the penalties, we hope, and get this game moving.
Pass was intended for Shane McNally, which immediately stops the clock on the
exactly. Yeah.
As we're trying to get the game in. Run the ball, guys. Run the ball.
Yeah, exactly. They've had
there was rain in the forecast tonight.
Yeah.
Let's send it down to Pat with a weather update.
Well, guys, that storm that was just north of Richmond, Indiana a few moments ago has now just moved south of it, so it's moving pretty slow. So odds are right now as play is made down there for the pass interference that we may be able to get this game in and finish it, especially with a running clock.
So pass interference is going to be called on Alex Daly Moeller.
His second one tonight, but
oh my goodness,
man, I feel like the West is getting more calls than the East, Glenn.
All right,
pass interference on the defense, 15 yards. That's going to be a first down.
Yeah, it's there's something I'll try to say this as diplomatically as I can. There are some things that the East is being called for that the West is not tonight. My unbiased opinion.
Agreed.
But that is the human element of the game. This is high school sports.
Hey, the refs are not always right, but apparently they're never wrong.
They're never wrong.
I beg to differ, but that's just me. As Williams is in at quarterback.
You just said it. They may not always be right, but they're never wrong. That's a fumble, and East is saying they've come up with the football.
But are they going to whistle him down first? That's the thing.
Seemed to me like the whistle came in before the East players started saying they have the football. Not that that means anything.
So we're going to have our little huddle here by the refs and cue the Jeopardy music.
So what are you having for dinner tonight? Are you getting them candlesticks?
No, they're going to Outback, get a blooming onion. We talked about this. First down, East.
Yep, it will be a turnover. So East comes up with the football. And they'll have the ball at their own 29-yard line with 2:24 remaining in the third quarter. There's a great shot. Just fantastic crowd on hand here tonight on the east side, which is the Kings home side of the bleachers here at Kings Stadium. Going to have a replay of the fumble coming up here, and our eagle-eyed director Josh says it's a little tough to see it scored out, but indeed it was.
That was number 35, Zachary Ball, Pride of Lebanon, as Wiederhold scrambles.
Borderline late.
Tackled by number 35, Austin
Really?
Silcox from Harrison.
They called him down in bounds. I'm kind of shocked by that.
Really? Again, never wrong. So we'll move on. 2nd and 8.
Trips to the bottom, one to the top. As David mentioned, your quarterback is number 17, Wiederhold of Fayetteville.
A little confusion there as Wiederhold went one way, his running back went the other, and here comes Blake King onto the field. Wiederhold coming out. So the East putting a lot of their faith and trust into Milford's QB1, headed to Wittenberg. Blake King, number 15 tonight, ward number 10 for the Eagles.
Now, short of putting Williams in for a design run, I think this is the first time we've seen a quarterback change in mid-series tonight.
Yep.
King thinks about passing to his left, pulls it down, goes across the middle, has a receiver near midfield. It is complete for a first down, but the ball will stay in East territory at Raphael Floyd of Princeton High School.
Timothy Williams there, sound like a broken record. He's everywhere tonight on the tackle there for the West squad. As you'll see, King pump once and just let one up, and Raphael Floyd comes down with it in a big play for the East.
I'm telling you what, he's listed at 5'10", and he's playing like 6'10" tonight. And that one's going to break free. That's Sherman. He's going to take that one to the house. 10-5, touchdown. Tyree Sherman of Princeton High School for the East All-Stars, and the East will move in front by a score of 20-19 with a PAT on the way.
It's another big momentum swing for the East, and they needed that with just 40 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. And Tyree Sherman, 5'11", 185, said goodbye to the West and hello to 6.
Princeton Vikings, one of our ICRC communities, are making their presence felt in this football game tonight. And Tyree Sherman is off to the races with hardly a red jersey in the shot.
A lot of arm tackles there from the west side, Glenn. And as we've covered Princeton this year, they're tough runners. They're not going to go down. And he broke 3 or 4 there, and he made the West pay for it.
Skaggs from Batavia in to attempt the point after.
Splits the uprights.
And it is good. So the East able to overcome some adversity with an injury to their quarterback, Seth Becker. Had Wiederhold make an appearance at quarterback, and Blake King comes on and leads the East down the field to a touchdown.
Looks like we've got another East player down on the sideline there, Glenn. He just got up, number 35. That's Zachary Ball out of Lebanon. The trainers were working on him, but he's back up and energized, and so is this whole east side and east sideline. So we'll see if the defense shows up and can get a big stop here with 40 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Blake King now 4 of 12, 32 yards passing, 1 TD, long of 21. Tyree Sherman, after that scamper, 4 attempts, 66 yards, a touchdown, a long run of 52, which you just saw.
Averaging 16.5 a carry, Glenn. That's huge for the east side.
Well, then you have Raphael Floyd, 3 receptions, 66 yards, long of 43, averaging 22. So, again, to repeat myself, the Princeton Vikings are making their presence felt here in this East All-Star team tonight. Good things in store for those Vikings this coming season.
Holke in the kick for the east side. He's headed to Urbana University this fall and will be studying sport management.
Nice spin move on the return for running into traffic at the 25-yard line.
Martise Edwards from Gamble.
Yeah, just a great return there. Good athletic move on that spin. Not quite
Braxton Miller.
Miller at Virginia Tech, but a nifty spin move nonetheless.
Man, what a play that was. If we go back to Braxton and his days as a wide receiver, JT a quarterback, and putting the whole Virginia Tech secondary on skates. But again, we're in high school football. Let's get back to some Cincinnati high school sports.
Yeah. West will take over after the nice return, 21-19. They lead, 1st and 10 from their own 26.
That'll be the East first lead of the night, Glenn.
Alex Schaefer in at quarterback. Schaefer's got a crossing receiver, but a little bit too hot to handle for Shane McNally of LaSalle.
Schaefer and McNally have had a really great connection, Glenn, and that one was just a little bit behind, but they've worked really well, and McNally's been very reliable for Schaefer on some of the deep passes we saw earlier in the game.
Clock stopped. Nope, clock keeps running. That was an incompletion. Why the clock keeps running, I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to beat the weather.
Oh,
nearly
wow.
intercepted in the middle of the field, trying to go upstairs there. Was that number 60 for the East?
No, that was, looks like number 24, Logan Bloom from Waynesville.
Waynesville, yeah. He almost got it.
That's why he's on defense. We're going to see a replay of that.
Well, I don't. I mean, that was would have been a one-handed grab if he pulls that in. That would have been Gronk-like. He pulls that ball in.
Yeah. Okay, as we're going to head to the fourth quarter, the East leads 21-19 here in Kings.
East has seized momentum. Got 12 minutes to see if they can hang on to it. With weather on the way.
Timeouts
reporter
short,
and amateur meteorologist Pat seems to think we may get it in, but depends on referees and the play calls.
Yeah, it depends on if calls go both ways.
It's a long walk back to the car in the rain. Just saying. Might have to have you go get it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do. I'm here to serve the people and please everyone.
I think you can get the car up the bleachers, though. That's the problem.
I mean, I don't want you to get a ticket. I mean, I can have it on the field for you.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun? Here's a bill from the Kings School District. There you see our ICRC-TV replay schedule for our Spectrum and Fioptics customers. As a reminder, you can also catch this game and all the other events we cover at our website, ICRC-TV.com, ICRC-TV.com.
Jake Sheary from Little Miami on the coverage there, almost picking that off as the west side now has 4th and 10. Schaefer's pass just a little underthrown.
I'm guessing that's the Eiffel Tower. Ta-da!
I think so, yeah.
I thought it might have been the cell tower over by Peter's Car Factory. I saw the light blinking up top.
Yeah, I think the Eiffel Tower might make more sense because, you know, we're pushing some so the firework weather, Glenn. There's 20 minutes till closing time over there at the Kings of Island.
Sergio Listo into punt for Wyoming. He gets it off. It's going to be a nice high punt fielded around the 25-yard line, and boy, did he get trucked, and it's a turnover, isn't it?
No, I think East recovered.
Wow. Logan Bloom took a heck of a lick there.
Fair catch. Just wave that hand. Don't risk it.
Yeah, don't get trucked, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's a free play at you. If you're just standing there waiting on a ball and you got full speed coming at you.
Well, let's send it down to Patrick with Sergio Listo. Saw the replay there during Patrick's interview with Sergio Listo. That near fumble by the East, but managed to hang on to it. Ball's going to be spotted at the 23-yard line of the East squad, as you can see in the excellent camera shot on your screen at the moment.
2nd and 9. Holke and King in the backfield for the East. King drops back to pass.
Just want to give kudos to this King scoreboard operator. He's keeping this clock moving to get this game in before the weather hits, and I'm all about that. So thank you very much once again to the Kings press box staff here for access to live statistics, our quarter statistics that are printed out for us, and keeping that clock moving.
King to Ace Taylor complete. We've got 3rd and 5, ball on the 23.
Trips to the top. One receiver down to the bottom. Is that Webster in the backfield with King?
No, that's Holtke from Bethel Tate.
Yeah, slant route is complete.
To Watt.
Yeah, Austin Watt, the wide receiver out of Anderson, who's been a favorite target of Blake King tonight.
It's hard not to throw to him when he's 6'5", Glenn. I mean, got those long legs, long arms. So we're going to see a replay. King got plenty of time.
King just playing with all kinds of confidence back there right now. I mean, he's not rattled at all.
What I tell you in the first half, Glenn, just get his morale going, and he's going to be hard to stop, as we've talked about. He comes up with comebacks like we've not seen before, and he's playing very well as Holtke gets the handoff, and he's churning.
Yep, across midfield. We'll spot it right at midfield.
Jason Smith, Hamilton, on the tackle there for the West All-Stars.
So a gain of 5 will bring up 2nd and 5 with the ball spotted squarely at midfield. Again, trips to the top, one receiver to the bottom. Blake King calls for the football. Handoff up the middle. Maybe tries to go between that gap between the left guard and tackle, but not a whole lot materialized over there. That'll be a loss of a yard. Holtke just couldn't get a block over there in that gap.
3rd and 6, ball in the East 49. King Holtke in the back, or Holtke in the backfield, trips to the top of your screen.
King under pressure, tucks it and runs. He's going to let it fly. Wide open, complete to the 40-yard line. Nice completion down to Austin Watt, again, of Anderson, who came back to the football when King had to scramble away from the pressure. That'll move the chains for the East All-Stars.
We've got number 10, Timothy Williams, down here on the east sideline. He came up after the end of the play holding his knee, so as you're going to see on the replay, King scramble and find Watt. This could be a soccer move, Glenn, as you're going to see him just fall. He grabs the leg right there, as you see. This could be just him trying to kill or pause the clock, but who knows at this point.
Are you saying he's flopping?
I'm not directly saying he's flopping, but I'm saying there's a possibility he could be flopping.
I just thought he might want to hang out over on the east sideline and get some shots in to some more of the East players over there while they were within earshot. Not of earshot of the referee. Well, while we have a break in action, let's send it down to Patrick with Darian Anderson of Taft High School.
It's with Darian Anderson of Taft High School. So, Darian, you want to do graphic design. Tell me why.
Because I want to start my own clothing business, and also when I come back to the city, I want to make flyers for like club, help promoters get out.
Nice. Tell me what your favorite part about playing at Taft was.
Just making a brotherhood with all my friends. You know, we all left the same school to go to that school. Just because of everybody around, we knew everybody at Taft. That's like family. That's what I have to make.
What will you miss most about high school football?
Playing Friday nights. Yeah, that's it.
It's fun. Thank you so much, Darian. Good luck. Darian Anderson from Taft, guys.
Great season for those Taft Senators. You saw them face off against Indian Hill in the first round of the playoffs down at Stargell Stadium. Game which Indian Hill emerged victorious from, but a good football game nonetheless. And Stargell Stadium, just a beautiful sight. And for you soccer fans, with FC Cincinnati tearing down the existing Stargell and rebuilding their new MLS stadium there, just the views of the downtown area from the West End are just fantastic. So really excited for the soccer fans for that aspect alone. It's going to make for good TV.
Yeah, I think so, Glenn. You know, and their big target point was Cincinnati's a major league town, and you know they've obviously proved it in the USL, but we'll see if the attendance numbers stay up and if they continue to be competitive. FCC has not given up a goal to an MLS team in regulation, as they lost to FC Minnesota last night 4-1 in PKs, as Glenn just mentioned. So it's going to be exciting to see what FCC does as we get back to real football. Austin Watt!
Off his fingertips. Would have fallen into the end zone for a score. Just final thought on FCC. Jeff Birdie and his soccer staff down there have their hands full trying to put together a major league roster in a hurry for next season.
Yes, sir.
But he's performed well under pressure so far, so it'll be fun for all the soccer fans here in the region. That's for sure.
And even for the non-soccer fans, it's a great family environment they've got at Nippert right now, and hopefully they continue that kind of atmosphere over when they do build the new stadium.
Yeah, really excited to see what they'll do with the new Stargell Stadium, which is going to be built just to the southwest. Boy, King went down awkwardly there, and the football comes loose.
He recovered.
But man, he went down on that just looked like an awkward landing on that knee.
And he gets up and walks away like it's no problem. But there was some confusion on that play, Glenn, as King went to hand off and nobody was there to take it.
take a look at the replay on this. You'll see the confusion David was talking about. Oof. I think that was a design fake handoff, but the running back didn't execute. But, yeah, just an awkward hit there for King. So it is 3rd and 17 from the 47-yard line. We're under 6:40 to go in the contest now, just about halfway through the fourth quarter. East's momentum has stalled. That's going to be a halfback pass. And it's complete to guess who? Austin Watt. 10-5. Touchdown. Austin Watt of Anderson High School.
What a time to pull out the trickery, Glenn.
Just as I said, the momentum had stalled. Coach Essig and the East All-Stars proved me wrong. Nice play call, well executed by the East.
Holke did a great job. For him not being a quarterback by trade, you're going to see him get the pitch here. He's under pressure and just fires one off his back foot.
See those two defenders, they thought he was going to run the ball. Nope.
And Austin Watt, all 6'5" of them.
Wow.
Finishing that way into the end zone.
Yep. Well, good play call again by Coach Essig and the East coaching staff.
So we get Skaggs in the kick.
This is a beautiful camera shot right there.
With the Eiffel Tower in the background.
Unfortunately, it wasn't a beautiful kick, but it was a great camera shot.
Hey, it got over the goalpost. That's all that matters.
I do, want to thank our ICRC staff and volunteer crew that came out today. A very warm, humid afternoon to be lugging equipment up these bleachers and running cables and getting everything set to bring you the action here tonight in this East-West All-Star game. So thank you to the staff and volunteer crew tonight for that and for bringing you great action, beautiful pictures from the field of play tonight.
And for those of you who have not been to Kings High School, the home side is a very steep and high bleachers. They're probably 20 or 30 deep, and lagging heavy cameras up that, just not fun. So as Glenn said, thank you to those guys who are here in the midday sun, just taking it on the shoulders, on the head, everywhere, just to put on a great production for you guys tonight.
The things we do for you, the home viewer. So maybe a workman's comp claim, as our director talks about the workout he got in today, lugging cameras around the stadium.
Yeah, no need to go to the gym tonight. Well, you got where you're lugging cameras in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Who's going to the gym tonight? That's what I want to know.
Hey, Planet Fitness is open 24 hours.
Well, I get it, but who's going?
Not
it's
me.
Thursday night.
Not me.
Kickoff is fielded and will be advanced out past the 30-yard line. A very good return for the West. They're going to need a quick score to get back in this game. It's Martis Edwards of Gamble High School. Gamble well represented tonight, as is Clark on this roster. Sometimes some of the smaller schools in the CPS system get overlooked by the Woodwards and Withrows and Tafts, and some good athletes and good programs out there as well in the rest of the CPS system.
Yeah, overall, like Taft had a great year on the basketball court as well. Hughes did too, as they came down to the last couple of games to figure out who would win the CPS there. But like you said, Glenn, a lot of great athletes that sometimes get overlooked by the bigger schools, but glad to see Gamble well represented here tonight.
6:14 to go
There's
in
a
this
sack.
one, and that's not going to be a good start for the West. But they need a quick score as their quarterback, Javante Barr of North College Hill, is slammed to the turf and sacked for a loss that's going to be in that 5 to 6 yard area.
Garrett Vanover just throwing him down like a rag doll. He's like, I'm trying to win this game and get one last win here at Kings, as he is now a Kings alumnus.
Second in a bunch for the West All-Stars, who trail by 9 and going to have a stoppage on the field.
False start, wow.
False start, so West just continues to implode in the late stages of this game after playing a pretty impressive first half and having a halftime lead.
I thought that might have been an encroachment because the defense kind of stirred that, but like we've said, the refs are never wrong. So false start, second in a bunch for the West All-Stars.
Barr didn't like it, I can promise you that. There's a low snap. He picks it up off the turf, rolls that to his right. That should have been a hold on the offensive lineman. Mercifully, the referee did not throw a flag. It was a handful of jerseys, wasn't it?
I mean, you're not wrong. So we've got 4:55 here remaining in the fourth quarter. 3rd and long for the West All-Stars as the East decides to make some substitutions, putting in more of a secondary prevent the pass.
I think they even had to call that one in the NFL, man. They hold on every play there.
But they get paid to do it.
Yeah. Well, our scoreboard operator is showing 3rd and 17, but man, it feels like 3rd and half of Warren County at the moment. Quick pass by Barr. I mean, way overshoots his intended receiver down the right sideline. So 4th and a bunch for West, and that's not what they needed on this drive. And the clock continues to run because of the impending weather. So the incompletion doesn't save you
much
or do you any favors, I guess.
Yeah.
Is the best thing to say there. Again, thanks to Kings High School for hosting us today, providing access to the stats. Appreciate their hospitality. Timeout's taken on the field, so that'll stop the clock. One of the few things that'll stop the clock in this game.
Now, yeah. But,
I just, I feel bad for the West guys. They played a great first half, and unfortunately just some mental lapses there, on this drive that's got them in a hole when they really needed to come out and get a quick strike, and it just didn't materialize. Send it down to Pat, who's been roaming the West sidelines in this half and has some scoop for us on what maybe some of those problems are, Patrick.
Well, that timeout was kind of an emergency timeout that they just took. Allie Jones is on the other side of the field, and he wanted to know why the timeout was taken. Some miscommunication issues for the West All-Stars, and unfortunately that's what's been plaguing them a lot. A lot of players have not gone in when they're supposed to. They've been kind of dazed around watching here and kind of looked like they're not engaged inside the game.
Yeah, and it's tough. We talked about that. There's 6 scheduled practices, and, talking with some folks for the game here, it's been typically rough for the guys on the west side of town to get together and hold practices. So just a lot of issues come into this All-Star game. There is another long pass that's going to fall incomplete. So Barr's got an arm, for sure. He was trying to get that one out to Shane McNally of LaSalle, who's been one of his favorite targets tonight, or been one of the favorite targets for the West quarterbacks tonight, but falls incomplete, and the West drive sputters out due to a variety of communication and execution problems.
Pat, off your point, from my vantage point, it just looks like some of the West guys are just done, like sitting on the bench. They're tired. They don't want to be here. It's hot. They're hitting, and it looks like they just quit, where the East, they just revamped here in the second half, and the East wanted to take the lead and then not look back. But, again, that's just from my vantage point, and that's what I'm seeing, but I could be completely wrong.
It's tough, Again, it's to build that cohesion and all those sorts of things. It's tough with limited practices and guys coming in and out sporadically. It's really a tough chore to try to build that sense of team. And it seems to be on a surface level what may be playing a role in the poor second half we're seeing by the West All-Stars tonight. I'm sure all these guys are tired. None of them are really in football shape at this point.
Right, yeah.
It's been a warm spring, I think it's fair to say. Record temps in the month of May while these guys have been trying to practice, so probably not doing them any favors at all either.
You lacking the ability to get in the weight room and stuff. They probably play other sports as well, or just want a season off. As that pass was complete to number 10, Tommy Bauman of Kings.
That's Wiederholt back in at quarterback for the East All-Stars. Oh, and we talked about it earlier, too. Just you got graduation coming up. You got finals to get through before you can even graduate, and then all the parties and family obligations and jobs.
It's personal time. They gave up their whole fall pretty much to 10 weeks, 10 to 15 weeks.
Late summer and fall.
Yeah, so these guys probably just want some time. And
now you think about the teams that advanced to state. They play those games in the first week of December. That's a long season when you go back to late July, early August, depending on when the OHSAA starts. Well, that was very nearly a touchdown, which would have been coffin nails and then some. Not able to hang on down in the end zone was, guess who, Austin Watt of Anderson. One of the few miscues he's had tonight.
Timeout
taken on the field by the West All-Stars.
See Wiederholt scrambling. He's got a lot of green space, and he goes back to that sidearm, and Watt just struggles to come down with it. But,
his jump might have been off just by a hair there.
Yeah.
Timing-wise.
For the East, he's probably glad that wasn't the most important catch, like that last touchdown was.
Right.
It's okay to drop one, he's not been working with like a jugs machine or with his wide receiver coach, as we've mentioned, just a lot of off time. So
Well, it's been a great high school sports season for us here at ICRC-TV Sports. Thinking way back to football and soccer season, we had 3 state champs in soccer on the girls' side here in the area, and football teams advanced far. Moving into basketball season, we saw a lot of good basketball this year. And then into the spring season, we're talking to our director, Josh, earlier about the run that the Marymount girls made into the tournament for lacrosse. So just been a great sports season, unless there's a couple of soccer all-star games I'm missing. I believe this may be our last sports telecast of the 2017-2018 high school season.
Wiederhold draws back to pass, wide open, Raphael Floyd, and like you said, coffin and nails. Put this game on ice for the East, and that'll be, what, 4 or 5 straight now for the East?
The East made it look easy, and again, one of our ICRC communities, Princeton High School, Raphael Floyd hauls in a touchdown as the East turns what had been a relatively close game in the first half and first part of the third quarter into a rout here late in this one.
As Raphael Floyd celebrates all the way down the East sideline. And I guess that saying, West Side, Best Side, is not true tonight, Glenn.
Well, there's always that geographic rivalry here in town. Kick goes through the uprights. Patrick, did you have something for us down there?
Nope, just telling you I may interview head coach Jeff Essig from the East after the game.
Thought while I was talking, Patrick had chimed in. I want to make sure I didn't miss an opportunity to get another one of these student athletes on the air with an interview. We will attempt to get winning coach Jeff Essig after the game, assuming we can get him into radio range. Hopefully we don't get his comments clipped this time. I'm sure he'd like to thank his players and coaches for all the work that they've put in to this victorious effort tonight. Certainly looks to be victorious at this point. The 14-point lead with 1:46 remaining in a running clock. So. Well, congratulations to the players and coaches from both teams regardless. It's been a fun game to call. Lots of big plays, some big hits for sure, and pretty competitive for most of it. This fourth quarter, I think, has been the aberration of the game. Pretty close other than that.
Yeah, Glenn, and you like to see that, as we talked about, the NFL Pro Bowl, there's not a lot of hitting, and those guys want to stay healthy. But for these guys, it's the last time a lot of them will put pads on, or they're headed off to a smaller school, and they get to hit some guys from their hometown one last time before taking the pads off or heading off to Urbana or Mount St. Joe or Thomas More, wherever they're headed in the fall.
Yeah. Nothing like high school football here in Southwest Ohio, that's for sure. In the state of Ohio, honestly. But high school sports does reign supreme here. It's a Reds town for sure, but people love their high school sports. So.
Yeah, it's like we mentioned earlier, it's not about where you went to college, it's about where you went to high school. Nobody cares where you went to college from Cincinnati, but where'd you go? Oh, I went to Moeller, I went to Milford. I mean, it's all about the rivalries, and the city just bleeds high school sports and is definitely very prideful in that, and we'll take that against with a lot of people.
Well, it's tough when you live somewhere else besides Cincinnati. I mean, somebody asks you where you went to school and you name your high school and they look at you like you're crazy.
Right.
So, very good point. Under 1:30 to go now.
And, it's more than just sports, Glenn. You got the Gold Star Skyline rivalry, too. Like, what do you like more? I mean, this city just loves competition and rivalry, whether it's food or sports.
You got to get it somewhere. You're not getting it out of the major league teams.
Right now, yeah, so.
Swing pass. It's complete out on the left side to Edwards from Gamble High School, but not much of a gainer there. And even with getting out of bounds, the running clock is going to keep this game trucking along as we're down to within the last minute now. At quarterback is Alex Schaefer from Clark High School. He's had a good game tonight. One touchdown for a long pass at 34 yards. So it's been rough sledding out there at times with miscommunication and not good blocking and things like that. So Schaefer 6 of 21 for 67, a touchdown. Javante Barr 1 of 6 for 31. For the East, Blake King 7 of 16, 63 yards, a touchdown along with 21.
Perfect timing, Glenn.
Luke Wiederhold 5 of 9, 42 yards, a touchdown. along at 13, and right on cue we have fireworks to celebrate the high school careers coming to a close for these young men out on the field who are embarking on their college education. They're moving on to the military in some cases, so great show put on by these student athletes tonight in their last time playing high school football in the state of Ohio. Going to give our sideline reporter Patrick a minute to see if he can catch up with Coach Essig after the handshakes. David, any final thoughts on what we saw here tonight?
Glenn, I'm just excited for Cincinnati football. Yeah, these guys are leaving, but they're leaving good teams behind, and I feel like this fall it's going to be here before we know it, and we'll be back in the booth for some other games all over the city of Cincinnati, whether it's Roger Bacon, Milford, anywhere, one of our ICRC
Hill,
communities.
Marymount,
Mount Healthy.
Reading, Mount Healthy.
St. Bernard. So any of our communities, I'm just excited for football season. This just giving us a little taste, and what a cool way for these guys to celebrate, getting to play clean football, nothing really bad. Fireworks going off in the background, they're having fun, and get to play in front of their friends and family one last time, and don their school colors on their helmet, and rep some other teams as well at those decal tradings just to show a sign of unity.
So the East continues their recent run of dominance in this game after struggling in the first half. They will reel off yet another win. So the East players begin to celebrate down on the sideline. And we're going to get a word in with the namesake of this East-West All-Star game. Ron Woyan, get him and Patrick a minute to get set down on the field and get to hear from the man himself. So let's send it down to Patrick with Coach Ron Woyan.
With Mr. Ron Woyan, who founded this game and is part of the game itself. It's named after Woyan, and much of its success.
Oh, these kids, it's great. They put on a great show every year. East and the West. I tell you what, I knew from going to the practices this year that this is going to be a heck of a game. Unfortunately, we had to go to that running clock because we had some lightning nearby and all that stuff. And I'd rather see the kids play it out and everything else. Changes the strategy a little bit, but still a great battle. And, some of these kids won't play any more football, and it's just a great memory for them.
Glad we got the weather in. What was the idea behind starting this game?
Back in the 70s, we just wanted to start it, and they had a game with it, and they had baseball with it, East-West baseball, East-West basketball, East and West football. And then we ran out of sponsorship, and then we ended up taking a 5-year break, and then we brought it back just so we could have scholarships and give the kids a chance. All the proceeds come from this. We put it right back into scholarships for the high school kids.
I'm sure every year's game stands out something unique about it. What was unique about this year's game?
Just the kids, the personality of the kids, and see them, develop and just grow the friendship. They show up at that first meeting, and I talked to both squads about, look around the room. You're going to have some kids. We've had, I'd say 35, 40 kids go on to professional careers in the NFL. We've had a National Football League Defensive Player of the Year. We had Brett Selleck this past year, just played in the Super Bowl. He played in the game. So I tell the kids to look around because, somebody on this team may be in the NFL someday, and just the memories that they develop,
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Woyan, for everything that you do.
I appreciate all the things that you guys do and all what you do for high school sports, and it's a great thing, and I just want to thank all you guys.
Well, thank you. It's our pleasure. Thank you very much on another successful year. Ron Woyan.
Well, Patrick, great job down on the sideline tonight. Do want to thank all of our ICRC staff, Tim Newman, Jason Dudley, Josh Simstrot, Dean Lowry, our volunteer crew once again for coming out and helping us get set up and bring you all this action. For my partner in the booth, David Olson, I'm Glenn Olson. It's been a great high school sports season here at ICRC-TV Sports. We'll look forward to seeing you in the fall. So long, everyone.